every once in a while we click the right button, but when we don't, the intro song keeps looping.
I got it this time.
Welcome back. We got it. First time's the charm. That's my favorite bit to do, actually, unironically. I don't know how often
We haven't
you've
even
done
started
this,
a
but
topic and we're already going off topic.
and we're already off topic. You ever just absolutely bomb something? Like you whiff a task hard and you're like, okay, let me just try it again. And you go do it again, you whiff it the second time, and then the third time, and the fourth time. And it's like it's been a dozen attempts to do what is essentially a menial task, and then you finally get it. And you're like, first try. Like, just sit back in the cut. it's the dumbest thing that I do, but it's so funny.
Life.
Like, it cracks me up every time.
Life be doing that to us, dude.
Sometimes, yeah. I was thinking about that on my drive home. It was like watching people slide through intersections. It's like, and then like
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
So I pulled up on an intersection in downtown, and I'm turning left to take the university bridge back up and over, so I can get to the house. And I'm behind this SUV. The light starts to go amber, and I watch as, like, I was just far enough to the side of them because they'd lined up for the corner that I could see the front wheel turn and the front wheels block, and it slid through the intersection.
Yeah.
Like as the light went amber. Now they came to a stop pretty quick because there's enough dry patches still that you can stop and then
it's
run it back.
Cold as fuck outside, but the roads aren't completely horrible yet.
It's not bad yet.
No.
And then so they back up into the turning lane again, and I thought, okay, well, you know what? That's a good recovery. Like I left them space. They backed into the turning lane, and then I watched the reverse lights turn off and the brakes release as they tried it again. They did it twice, and I was like, hell yeah! This time they slid a little further to the left through the corner, and then the light went red, and I watched the camera go off, and then they straighten the wheels through the corner, like just get out of this intersection as fast as we can. And I was sitting there, I was like, hell yeah, buddy, first try. Like
mistakes have been made, now I have to commit.
Listen, once you're in too deep, you've got nowhere to go except forward. You have to progress.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And sometimes normal people do that, just like Triple H, right? We've got breaking news from the World Wrestling
Entertainment.
World Wrestling Entertainment. Whatever the WWE acronym stands for, really.
World Wrestling Entertainment. Good Lord, you had it all right, but you second guessed yourself.
That's not the first. You know what? I've messed up F1 in my defense.
It's a letter and a number.
Yeah, it's not that I've messed up saying F1. I've in my head, I'm like, it's clearly not Formula, right? I've only been watching this for like 5 years.
Fuck around.
You go to say something, your brain just shuts off. You're like,
It's not Formula. Is it Fuckery 1?
Must be. Has to be, right? What else could there be?
What else could it be?
You were telling me some stuff happened in the WWE world.
Yeah. So I know you weren't an avid WWE fan. I don't know if you were when you were younger, but everybody knows who John Cena is. Obviously, he did his last match as of the 13th. So he is done. He's retired because he is dealing with skin cancer. So he's done now. The current controversy that has just piled on top of the shitstorm that Triple H has already caused with the WWE is that Triple H slated the match for John to lose. You took one of the biggest names in wrestling history and you scheduled him to lose his final match. So I don't know why the fuck my right eye is burning so bad. But yeah, so a lot of people are pissed, as well as the fact that he didn't really wrestle anybody big or, you know, really promising for his final match. He wrestled a German guy called Gunther, who I mean, like, I know who Gunther is.
Who that is?
Yeah, but
I
that's just
don't.
it. Like, the guy's one of those pompous assholes that's a background character in storylines kind of thing. He's never really had a big mainline story, not like Seth Rollins or Charlotte Flair, stuff like that. He's always been like a second rate background wrestler. So already people are pissed. He loses the match. People are even more pissed when Triple H went to hug John Cena after the match was over as like a farewell. The whole stadium booed him, which I should state as well. Half the stadium was filled with Hall of Famers, legendary wrestlers from all over the world. Like, yeah, half the stadium was celebrity people from the wrestling industry all across the world. So he was getting booed by his own employees for some of it too. Like, for example, the Samoan chieftains of the Rock and Roman Reigns like Samoan clan, they showed up to John Cena's last match. They were ringside to commemorate his legendary run in WWE. They were quite upset with Triple H. Even Stephanie, his own wife, was pissed. Yeah, it was quite the upset. And then I decided to do a little more digging. I found out that this is not the first controversy Triple H has been in the past couple months, worthwhile past couple years. So in the past couple months, there have been about 53 wrestlers and employees between like actual wrestlers and backstage employees that have quit in the past 4 months, and they all have the same reasoning because of Triple H. Between one thing or another that he's done, they've all just quit, walked out. Most notably, yesterday, Mick Foley quit and walked out. It's well documented that he is left wing with his political stance, like very left wing. But what was the icing on the cake, especially with the John Cena issue being so fresh still, was that Triple H came out and said, "Hey, I'm making sure that WWE rekindles some sort of relationship with Donald Trump." And everybody was like, "Well, that's a bad idea." And Mick Foley was like, "You're right. I quit." And he walked out. So that's another Hall of Famer gone. Um, just to name a few, Bobby Lashley, who had actually returned to WWE, he left. Um, I know Mustafa Ali is gone. Sasha Banks, Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, Carlito, the Hall of Famer Carlito, the Spanish guy that used to have the big ass afro and he always came out eating an apple. He was working background operations with them as well, and he quit. He left. R-Truth left and came back for the Money in the Bank tournament to run out his contract, and then he's gone. AJ Styles has said he's releasing his contract as of next year, so he's just running out the clock on his contract. There's another female wrestler. Her name is slipping my mind right now, but her contract is up at the end of next month, and then she's gone, all because of Triple H. All because this man just keeps compounding issue on top of issue. And the problem is that WWE has always had these issues because I think we all know at this point how big of a human piece of garbage Vince McMahon is. And like I'm sure you've heard about a lot of the oh shit, I have not I've had my Google browser open. Yes, hello Stephanie, hello Averix. But Vince McMahon, he's always been caught up in a lot of like illegal crime stuff like trafficking and a lot of low down stuff like that. But he's always had the money to kind of rebound, right? Because of WWE and the fact that his wife, Linda McMahon, is basically in the pocket of Donald Trump with his Congress and cabinet and all that. So, fast track forward, how did he continue to get away with all this, whereas Triple H isn't? Well, Vince had the money and the backing to get away with it. You know, rich man, rich power. Nobody says shit as long as they get a big payout from it. Triple H has driven WWE into the ground so hard that he doesn't have that option, so he can't pay his employees to keep quiet. So people aren't keeping quiet, and it is fucking him over so hard. A lot of us are pretty sure this will be the downfall of WWE, because even NXT came up really quickly when it started. You know, it started out as NXT was the training camp for next generations that would join either SmackDown or Raw. Ended up becoming so popular that it became its own third installment of live wrestling production on WWE. That was Triple H's baby. NXT was purely Triple H. He started NXT and he built it. NXT is pretty much done at this point because people want nothing to do with Triple H anymore. So they're just, yeah, they're just done with that. Um, Most of these wrestlers have either gone back to the Japan circuit or they have gone to AEW, All Elite Wrestling, which is where a lot of the uh, big time names that we grew up with that are still wrestling, like Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy,
Yeah.
that's where they've gone. They're in AEW and they're getting paid 4 times as much as they were getting paid with WWE to do the same stuff. And so, yeah, we're pretty sure WWE's done at this point. It's just a matter of how long Triple H can run out the clock with what money he's got left. And The Rock actually offered to buy it from him. And out of pride, Triple H said no, fuck off. And The Rock was like, fine, see if I care. I'll just buy it from you cheaper in a couple of years when you're bankrupt. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a good business poster, but yeah, no, he's made a lot of blunders, and Stephanie is not very happy with Triple H right now. There was actually a scene caught in backstage a couple months back when The Rock was still having his little storyline with Roman Reigns on WWE when he made his like visual return. He wasn't actually wrestling, but he was kind of acting as like Roman Reigns' manager kind of thing. And they were backstage and he ran into Triple H, and Triple H actually botched the script on a match for something with them. Like he changed it mid match kind of thing or something and just completely fucked the whole thing. And The Rock was so mad that on camera he was cussing and swearing at Triple H. And Triple H said, "No, you've stepped out of line." And The Rock looked at him and said, "Look, I'm only gonna say this once. You ever pull that shit again, and you're gonna eat your teeth." And he said that on live TV, and then walked off. And people thought, "Oh, that's just Attitude Era coming back with some strong skits because it's Triple H and The Rock." Nope, that was real. The Rock has not appeared on wrestling since then. Their storyline was scrapped because Roman and The Rock are both super pissed. Yeah. Like Triple H has just been disrespecting everybody he comes across. So it turns out that marrying into the McMahon family turned him into just as much of a scumbag as Vince was. Yeah. Well, yeah, because like for those of you that don't know, that's who Stephanie is that I keep saying, Stephanie McMahon. That's Vince's daughter. Shane McMahon, Vince's son that used to run SmackDown, he hasn't been there for almost, oh fuck, 7 or 8 years now because he has wanted nothing to do with the McMahon family. He is disgusted and hates the fact that he's related to them at all. It's really honestly, it's pretty sad when you let go of all your riches like that because you know how much of a piece of shit your family is. It's really something. So, kind of sucks on one side of it because I'm a big WWE fan, but I can just as easily go watch AEW. And AEW is willing to come and do venues in our small city in comparison to the stuff like LA and all that. and it'll still be live broadcast as if it was like Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. There's no dark shows like what WWE does. When WWE comes here, they bring their third rate wrestlers,
Yeah.
and they don't record it, they don't live stream it, nothing. It's just purely just a wrestling show. You might as well go to like a high school gym and watch the people who are trying to make a name for themselves on those like third rate underground circuits, because that's essentially what it turns into, all except you're paying the price for a WWE ticket. Whereas AEW tickets, last time they came, me and Hope pretty much sat ringside for AEW, and they were like $50 a ticket, and we got to
That's
see.
not bad.
No, it's not, considering the ringside seats we went to for WWE were almost 200 a ticket. You know,
That's
and we didn't see anybody special or important who was even part of the main roster of the show. Whereas with AEW, we paid that, the price for those tickets ringside, and we saw Matt Hardy wrestle, we saw Chris Jericho wrestle, we saw Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle, like a bunch of people who used to be in WWE. Braun Strowman, except he has a different name now because Braun Strowman's actually the name that belongs to WWE. We saw Cody Rhodes wrestle when he was called the American Nightmare on AEW, which is funny as well. Another point to prove of how big of a piece of shit the WWE is in general. Cody Rhodes, that is his real name. That's not his ring name. But because he used that as his ring name in WWE, WWE filed a
they own the
lawsuit
rights
against.
to it.
Exactly. So he went for almost 12 years in different wrestling circuits having to use different aliases because he couldn't use his birthright given fucking name because WWE claimed a patent on it. So yeah, there was a lot of controversy over
Nice.
that. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's actually part of the reason why his brother, um, Dusty Rhodes, who a lot of people know as Gold Dust, that's Dusty Rhodes. That's Cody Rhodes' brother. That's part of why Dusty left. Dusty is wrestling, I believe, in the Japanese circuit right now because they've always been really good to him. But that's part of the reason why he left as well, because he was in WWE for years, even after the whole Cody Rhodes thing. But as soon as the Cody Rhodes controversy came to light and Vince was like, yeah, no, you're not getting your name back because it's patented to us. Dusty was like, that's no, that's not okay. And he left. Yeah, Big Show, just as an example, Big Show only helps with the Make a Wish Foundation now. He doesn't help with anything else because he's had enough of that shit. Mark Henry doesn't help out at all. He quit WWE altogether. He let his business contract go as well as his wrestling contract. Um, Trish Stratus doesn't do anything with them anymore. Even a lot of like newer wrestlers like Bray Wyatt, you don't really see much of him anymore. Alexa Bliss, here and there. People who have only been around for like 6 or 7 years that have made names for themselves as A-list wrestlers, a lot of them are kind of backing out of the limelight as well because they know that WWE is on its way out. It's kind of been on its way out for a while, but especially after the upset with what they pulled during COVID, it's really made a lot of issues come to light more so than not because they don't have the money to keep their people quiet anymore.
Heard good things about All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah,
One of our buddies told me about it. That was like the only wrestling I've ever really watched. Like I've caught clips of WWE. We had WWF when we were growing up.
yeah,
And that was my dad watched some of that, but not a ton. Like dad was never a big wrestling guy. So like it was just never a thing for me, which is why I have like
yeah.
no love for
No,
it.
and that's fair.
It's you said something that's got me curious. So you said that Big Show is helping with the Make a Wish stuff.
Yeah, the same stuff
So
John was. Yeah.
when a child puts in a Make a Wish request,
Yeah.
are they putting it into the WWE or are they
it's a
requesting to meet a wrestler specifically?
they are requesting to meet someone or do something specifically because they don't have to request to meet a wrestler. They can request to just get to hold the WWE Heavyweight Championship belt, or they can
Yeah.
request to be ringside for a specific match. They can request to get to see the setup for an arena. Like it doesn't have to just be a wrestler, but I mean they're kids, so of
Hmm.
course they're gonna want to meet their superstar.
Yeah.
But no, the Make a Wish Foundation is a separate charity that is just most commonly known for partnering with the WWE.
Yeah.
And a lot of the WWE superstars love working with them, which is why they continue to come back every year. Like John Cena, unsurprisingly, holds the most amount of Make a Wish.
Yeah. He holds the
Me,
Guinness World Record for it.
yeah.
Most wish fulfillments.
Thank you,
We
fulfillments.
talked about
That's
that.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lot of those were for at least in the later years. A lot of those were facilitated by Big Show. He hooked those kids up with John. So
That's cool.
yeah,
It's we were talking about this yesterday about the States. It was like I can't remember if I was talking can't remember who I was talking to it about, but it was we were talking about like how long do you think the States has?
that
Right.
wasn't me.
I know it
Okay, so
wasn't
this is
you.
gonna be interesting.
Can't remember from it was I can't remember if that was Kelly and I or if that was me and the roommates. But we were talking about like empires and dynasties follow a life cycle, right?
Right.
You've got the starting point where they come up.
Hmm.
You've got kind of like the golden age and the decline. You've got like the death throes and then it dies.
Yeah.
Very few empires are like exempt from that.
Hmm.
Some have found a way to preserve legacy, but that's almost never of their own doing. It's always like a coincidental thing happens
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about the United States as because it is an empire. Hi,
Hmm.
rookie. So like how long do you figure the United States has left in its run, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very clearly flailing. It's probably been dying for a while,
Hmm.
but it's getting worse. So my question to you is how long do you think realistically the WWE has as its dynastic run?
Like, okay,
Hi, rookie. We're talking about a
are
little bit
you
of everything
meaning
again today.
until like the company's completely gone, like people just think of it as a fond memory, or are you meaning like until the majority of its fan base is gone, it claims bankruptcy? Like, are you talking
Um,
like gone from TV, or where it's like still around on TV, but people are like, "Ha, who watches that anymore?"
I think probably gone from
Gone,
like
gone.
the entertainment space. Gone.
See, the problem is
Like gone
that
in 60 seconds. Gone.
I don't think it will fully ever be gone from TV because at the point
Okay, yeah, that's fair
because
because it's
think
entertainment,
about
right?
well, yeah, and think
So
about
let's
it.
let's change it. How
WWE,
long do you think its relevance lasts?
honestly,
Right?
I think
Because
it's
in sports, organizations need to hold relevance. NASCAR just went through this actually.
yeah,
They went through a giant class action because of some of the teams wanted to sign on to the program
yeah,
to be able um, to be able to influence development, driver selection, and track conditioning.
yep,
So 23XI and the team that Denny Hamlin is a part owner in 23XI, but they just went through this big class action lawsuit that NASCAR basically had to pay them out on because NASCAR promised them the
yep,
opportunity contractually, and that's where the class action came in.
yeah. I did hear about this.
Because it's over the Gen 5 cars. Because all the teams wanted a different style of car, and NASCAR was like, what if we went with more plastic aero and changed the circuits again? Because like
Yeah.
the gimmick with motorsport, in order to maintain relevance, is to keep the racing tight.
Hmm.
So when you change a car's regulations, you have to slow the cars down so that the fastest drivers are no longer as competitive. Like you have to bring the fastest runner back. The
Hmm.
problem is that change usually sweeps the whole field at the same pace. So back to the question before I get super off topic. How long do you think the WWE retains relevance
I
in the entertainment sphere?
think that's already gone, honestly. It lost its relevance after the COVID controversy. Because people,
That's fair.
people like, do you know more or less what the COVID controversy was with WWE?
Got no clue.
Okay, so
Got nothing.
you know
I've
full
just been smiling and nodding,
that's fair.
just like
You
everybody listening at home.
Well, the one thing you know about like arena type shows is they
Yeah.
sell out the arena, right? They fill every seat they can, and the prices vary, obviously. When COVID hit, WWE refused to take the necessary precautions for their wrestlers' health and safety, but they took the precautions for the fans in the sense that they set up screens where each of the chairs in an arena would be, and people could buy a ticket at more price than what it was when the show was like had people in person in the arena. But you would sit at
Mm-hmm.
home, you'd pay like $250 for a ticket in the middle of the fucking bleachers in like section Z row 32, and you would sit at home and watch it as if you were watching a pay-per-view when it was just a random Monday Night Raw that had two people arguing the whole time, going back and forth, and then that was it for an hour and a half.
Trying to
And
trying to sell the arena experience,
yeah, so they were selling tickets for
but doing it the
more.
wrong way.
Exactly, they were selling tickets for more, and they were not allowing anybody into the arena, obviously, because it's COVID quarantine. But they were forcing their wrestlers to still go out and wrestle instead of quarantining as well for their own health and safety. Because, Vince McMahon and Triple H still have to get their buck. So that
Yeah.
caused a lot of issues, and there was actually a big hiatus there when the quarantine was finally over, and a lot of wrestlers were like, "Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm gonna take some time off, and then I am moving on with my life from this shit show." And a lot of people went. That was actually one of the first big washouts from WWE that went over to AEW. There was like 18 of them from the main
Yeah.
roster that left. Because at that point on the main roster, the only people
That
who
would have
were
been about the same
really,
point in time that our buddy Dolch told me about it.
yes, because honestly,
Yeah.
there was only like five people from the main roster that were still there after that happened. It was like Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and I think maybe a couple others. But yeah, 90% of the main roster left and went to AEW.
You know what? I did hear a little bit about this before you brought it up. And the way I heard about it, hilariously, is I follow Ric Flair on Facebook.
Yep.
And he made an extremely long, very aggressively word,
Yep.
like a scathing letter
Oh yeah. Yeah.
addressed to no one in particular, but the people who
But
knew what they'd
the
done. It
message
was
was
exactly
there.
how he worded it.
Yep.
And it was, and I remember reading it and being like, what's got the Wonder Boy so pissed off? Like,
Yeah.
like he's he's been out of the like cultural eye for a while.
Yep.
He comes up every year for his birthday because they throw these like giant birthday parties for this man who I think at this point is like almost 90,
Yeah.
which
Well,
is just
and
hilarious to me.
and if Charlotte Flair ever makes main events in WrestleMania, which she has multiple times, he makes sure to dress up
Yeah,
and come down the ramp with
yeah, he
her.
shows up.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that was how I heard about this actually. And then you brought it up earlier today, and I was just like, why do I feel that sounds kind
Yeah,
of
it sounds.
familiar?
Yeah, you just need a little bit of information about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
that was I think where their relevancy just went away completely, because after
yeah.
that they started really struggling to fill the arenas, and they started pulling the theatrics trick for live TV, where when the camera was scanning the crowds, you would see just a lot of black spaces because they were putting covers over the chairs to make it look like there wasn't chairs
Yeah, it
there.
looked like the arena was full.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was yeah, and then this latest one, between the John Cena issue and the Donald Trump thing. I actually found the list. I won't read them all out if you don't want to, because I know you're probably not going to know most of these people. But I was wrong. It was not 53. It is 57 people, uh, in the last 4 months.
Because that makes it better for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, in the last 4 months, 57 people have all left for the exact same reason, because of Triple H. Yeah, yeah, and
Nice.
a lot of these are
Hasn't he
actually.
only owned it for like a year?
No, it's been
Less
about.
than, right?
No, it's actually
It's
been
been like
about
six
nine.
months.
It's been about 9 years now. He has owned it for a while, but it's just that Vince McMahon didn't fully step out of the limelight as the like
Oh,
face
that's
of the
why.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah, Triple H took
Yeah,
over
that makes sense.
as not the CEO, but the like the CCO or something, the guy right below CEO, as background
COO.
operations. COO, thank you.
Yeah.
He was running the whole company from the background the way Vince used to, and Vince kind of took his last little escapade in the limelight, and then in the middle of that, it came out that he was caught up in a human trafficking ring, and he disappeared from the map. And that's when Triple H had to take over that as well as running the whole company. So he officially became CEO. But I know it's been a while now that he has been running it, and it has just gotten worse and worse. And lately, it's almost like he's hit the point of like he knows it's fucked and going down. So he's just doing whatever the hell he wants with what money he's got left. Um, just to name a few, though, that you might know, like I said, Braun Strowman is gone. He's the
Hmm.
big, like, 6'8" guy that like to go toe to toe with Brock Lesnar a lot.
Yep.
Um, I said Cedric Alexander's gone. Um, Luke Gallows is gone. Dakota Kai, she was one of the really like famous high flyers from NXT. Um,
Okay, yeah.
there was another one, Shayna Baszler, the UFC fighter that came over shortly before Ronda Rousey. She was in NXT when Ronda Rousey came to Monday Night Raw. Um, she left. She's gone. There is Draco Knox. Wolfgang is gone. Um, Katana Chance. A lot of the females from NXT left. That is, I'm just going to state that right now. Sonya Deville is gone. Carmella. Carlito. I said Carlito was gone. Um, Kylie Ray. Scarlett. Yeah, a lot of people. It's quite upsetting, and because they're not telling WWE obviously what they're going to do, because they're just like, fuck you, it's none of your business. They We don't know where they're going, but we're hoping that most of them are going to show up on AEW. So because no, I've
Probably the
taken.
second they're legally in the clear,
Yeah, yeah.
most likely.
Once this shit blows over, I can see most of them popping up on AEW.
How many of the 57 were wrestlers?
Um, let's see.
Probably not. Like, I imagine not all of them, because that would like clear the roster completely, right?
Well, you got to keep in
There can't be
mind,
there can't be that many wrestlers in the
du-
WWE.
WWE has so many wrestlers because when they had that big washout during COVID, they started introducing NXT wrestlers who weren't even done their training as main roster wrestlers in SmackDown or Raw, and pushing storylines with them to get their names out there. So there is actually, I believe, in between 200 and 300 wrestlers between SmackDown, Raw, and
Jeez.
NXT. That's a lot. That's another reason why people stop paying attention, is because
So many.
you would
How do you
take.
keep track of it?
Well, that's the thing, is you would take a month or two to learn this new person's name, and then they would leave for some controversy or something that was caused, and then you turn around and you'd have to learn the next three wrestlers' names that would all be gone within a week. So a lot of people were just like, you know what, this is becoming more hassle than it's worth. It's not even enjoyable anymore. So, you know, they just quit watching it there
Yeah,
as
because like
well.
the mass appeal of a sport like that is in having like a favorite,
Yeah.
right? You got a guy, he appears all the time. He's your guy. If he doesn't show up,
Then
you're
it,
bummed.
yeah, then you
But
didn't
you know
find
what?
that
Maybe
episode
there's another
interesting.
guy in the new episode that you will gravitate to. Now you got two guys
Yeah.
out of a roster of like 40. So your probability of turning over someone you recognize or like remember is higher. You went to one show, you saw your guy wrestle for 30 minutes, he got thrown out the ring. You were like, that was the coolest moment of your life.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. If you
Um,
overinflate the population of the like your athlete pool, now there's nothing to grab. It's like
yeah.
I have friends that like there are guys that we both know that are like huge into football or baseball
Yep.
or like Europe, like soccer, European football,
Yep. Yep.
and it's like they know every name for every athlete on every team. That's like how could I watch I watch Formula One. There's 20 guys. That's it. I know who all of them are, except for the new ones for next season because some drivers were released or didn't get a
Right.
seat for next year. There's some more rookies coming in, stuff like that.
Right.
But like the season's long enough that you have time to learn who everybody is,
Yep.
and you can learn like how they drive, which
Yep.
is something that like makes it easy to pick out. Certain certain sports are better for that because like the pool is so small.
Mm-hmm. As I was listening to you talk here, I just went through all 57 names. Only one of them was a ringside manager, Paul Ellering, which I know him, but the other 56 were all wrestlers. Yep. Yep. Which I mean makes sense because on one side of it, WWE is so conceited that if like a ref or a background member of the crew or something quit, they wouldn't put it on a they wouldn't put it
Mm.
on a spread Excel sheet and fucking say here's all the people that have quit this quarter. Like
No, but I bet you somebody on Reddit has.
yeah, probably.
Probably. Reddit occasionally comes through with like the most niche information.
Yeah.
You'll be
Well,
you'll be googling something to try and find something out, and it'll be like a Reddit thread from 8 years ago, and it's like the guy's like, yeah, here's exactly what you're looking for. Why is it still here?
there is one thing I will say though in terms of like the big oopsie currently like the Donald Trump thing that was obviously the icing on the cake for everybody there, but the John Cena escapade is still very fresh given that it happened less than 5 days ago.
Like, yeah,
Um,
this
Gun-
week.
yeah, Gunther, the guy who wrestled him, wasn't aware of how it was supposed to go. Um, Triple H had only told John the script, as far as we know. And so Gunther, as far as he knew, because John has always been known for going against the script and finding that next level to push himself to get back up and keep fighting, right? And Gunther was really scared, like not surprised. He was scared when John tapped out when he had him in the sleeper hold. And then John just laid there on the mat staring at the ceiling for a hard minute. And Gunther got up and went over and talked to the official, and he was like, "Hey, is this genuinely what's happening?" And the ref was like, I guess so. Nobody but John and Triple H knew, and I think John did that because he didn't want anybody else to like give the company backlash because there's enough of that going around already. John just kind of wanted to leave quietly at that point. I feel bad for Gunther because he didn't know. So he thought he was going in for an A tier match that he was prepared to lose after giving it his all against one of the greatest in the company. And then John taps to a trivial sleeper hold, and Gunther left the arena immediately. He didn't even wait for the referee to say he had won or anything. He got out of there and people are just bullying him nonstop. Like wrestlers are cornering him in the locker rooms, and I feel bad for him because it's not like he asked for that. He didn't know. Triple H is the one that solicited this bullshit. Gunther was just caught up in the middle of it, and like he thought he was getting a grand match against John, and they both got screwed. And now Gunther's being bullied because he won, but of course because he's still being paid by the company, he has to put on that face for the story of like, oh yeah, I beat John, I'm so great. But in reality, no, he's shitting bricks. Every night that he has been like on live with them since that happened on, I think it was Friday, no, Saturday, because it was the Saturday Night Live broadcast, the what do they call it? Pay-per-view. Um,
Yeah.
that ever since Saturday, yeah, Gunther does what he needs to do for his story on like the broadcasts, and then he leaves the arena. He does not hang around, and I feel really bad for him. And then, you turn to Triple H's side of things, and Triple H is literally just like, oh well, we got our paycheck. He's gone. We don't have to worry about paying a high grade A tier wrestler now. So yeah, like the look. Honestly, CM Punk was one of the first ones to get into the ring to say goodbye to John after the match was over, and CM Punk looked like he wanted to murder Triple H with the belt that he had around his shoulder. And you can see in that same camera angle, because it shows you like a sideline, so you see Stephanie, Triple H, and then CM Punk as he's crawling into the ring. CM Punk is glaring this motherfucker down, and then you can see Stephanie glaring at Triple H too. So she didn't know about it either. She's furious, and CM Punk wants to like shred the WWE belt right in front of him. He's so mad. But the last one to leave, which kind of broke me a little on the inside because he grew up watching his brother and John wrestle, was Cody Rhodes. The arena had completely emptied out. All the fans, all the Hall of Famers, everybody had left, and he was still there, leaning against the apron of the ring, staring at John's boots and the "you can't see me" wristlets that he always wore. And that kind of broke me on the inside because that man had to watch essentially one of the people who got him into the company go down in that kind of shit show. Like that's just disheartening. There was a few people that I apparently had kind of guessed that this was going to happen, based on recent events. Because Randy Orton didn't show up. The Rock obviously didn't show up. He had an invitation. He told Triple H to fuck off. Rey Mysterio didn't show up. Like, yeah, a lot of people who grew up wrestling with John in that Attitude Era didn't show up because they knew that something was going to happen, and they knew fists were going to fly. So it was kind of disheartening.
Well, it is a fighting program, isn't it?
It
So
is.
yeah, that sucks.
Yes,
That's
yes, rookie. Because it was glitching out on you. Yes, John Cena lost his final match.
that's you gotta feel bad for a guy like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, on
Spend his whole life doing the thing, just like yeah. So, anyways, because
yeah,
you're out of here, you lose.
yeah, yeah, literally, and that's how they treated him.
Couldn't hack it with the big dogs, huh? It's like no, he's dying.
No,
Like
that
it's, it's
he's literally dying, and I believe he is also one of the oldest wrestlers to retire from full time wrestling, isn't he?
yeah, he's like 45,
Yeah,
46,
yeah. Which honestly,
something
at
like
that
that.
point, the toll that's been taken on
Hold
their
on,
bodies is already immense. I thought he was in his 50s.
hold on. 48.
48. Yeah, okay. So that's still up there. I think Hulk Hogan
That's
and Ric
interesting.
Flair were older than him, but still.
Fun
He
fact: his birthday's the day after mine, just significantly longer before.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
I didn't know that.
Um I guess if we're doing that,
That's the closest I'll ever be to greatness.
fun fact: Hope has the same birthday as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's rad.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Which actually, that reminds me, that's tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yep.
There's, that was the speed run of the 5 faces of grief, right there. It's the light faded out of one eye. Oh no.
Your Honor, so my client claims whoopsie.
Your Honor, I didn't have the mind flayer today. I did, yep. And I wrung its neck. I wrung its neck doing basic tasks.
Yeah, see, exactly. So, Rookie doesn't really know much or watch WWE when it comes to that stuff, and even he knows who John is. People know who John is.
I don't think you need to be a wrestling fan to know who John Cena is.
No, you really don't.
The same way as like The Rock at this point.
Yeah, but
Stone Cold has a pretty big following outside of wrestling.
He does, but that's a big part of that though is because of his Skull and Bones podcast or Broken Bones,
which is
the Broken Bones,
which is fantastic.
Podcast. It is. It's amazing. I love it. But John has admitted many times that he enjoyed the stuff he did in Hollywood. It was fun, especially later in his career because he got to start doing more comedy stuff, which is what he always wanted to do, rather than stuff like The Marine, which I thought The Marine was cool. But, you know, it's nice to be able to experience different things. And he is able to change up his character and stuff. Like, you know, he's able to do comedy.
I haven't watched the movie he did with Andrew Santino. Can't remember what the name of the movie is called, but his character in it is Ricky Stenicki, and it's
yeah.
John Cena's character is he's a paid actor to be this guy that these three kids basically made up.
That's literally what
tall tales about.
Literally what the movie's called is Ricky Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah.
Every clip I've seen from that movie looks hilarious, especially him when they hire him the second time. They hire him initially, and he's going through withdrawals.
Yep.
And it's just his character. He's just like, "Come on, man, give me something here."
Honestly, a good one to watch. I just watched recently was Jackpot. Came out last year. Does it with?
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, Aquafina. It's fucking hilarious.
And Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
Do you
did
have a panic room in here.
Of course, I have a panic room. He also did that spy movie Argyle with Henry Cavill.
I didn't see that.
That one's good. The reason why I recommend Jackpot is because in the movie Jackpot,
Rookie, you're a movie.
He is obsessed.
A bad one, but a movie nonetheless.
Paramount Studios.
Wait, you're saying Rookie is a Paramount Studios movie? Terrible. Oh no.
The reason why I recommend Jackpot though with John Cena is because in the movie he is obsessed with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is hilarious because he spends half the movie singing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song to pump him up during fist fights. But nice. What makes that really fitting though is me being such a massive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lover and nerd. The year prior to that, so 2023, the new animation style Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, he was a part of the Mutant Mayhem movie. He voiced a character in the movie. Who that is at the current moment, I am drawing a blank on. But, oh, fuck! He was Rocksteady. That's who he was. He was Rocksteady.
He wasn't Rock Hard.
I am live now, so if you want to embarrass yourself, go ahead.
The jump was so good.
Just because I told you Tegan comes in here and kicks the door in doesn't mean you had to. That was,
Bonka.
You guys can suck each other's dick a little quieter.
No.
She couldn't have kicked it in that hard. The mic didn't even pick it up.
Oh, yeah, no, that's because I have my mic set to only recognize voices.
Good night.
Everybody say goodnight, Hope.
No,
When she wakes up, she'll be old.
fuck her.
Well, no.
Yeah, no, he played
And on
Rock.
the second bit, that's your job. So you deal with that.
I'm not gonna answer that live because that would just make it really depressing. Um, no, yeah, no, never mind. Moving on.
Anyways,
Yeah, but the whole point of that was he wanted to do it because it seemed like a fun thing to try out, but he didn't want that to be his main career. He still held a wrestling contract the whole time because he was constantly, coming back to wrestling. That was his passion. That was his career. Whereas The Rock did wrestling purely because his father did, and so he felt like he had to, which is why he left professional football after he started playing and went wrestling, built up enough money, and then he made the move to Hollywood, and that's why he hasn't really gone back as a wrestler, is because he's a showman now. He only does it for the paychecks. What?
there are two niche football references that I'm aware of. And I'm pretty sure it's The Rock who was the first one. And I'm probably wrong. So feel free to fact check me at your own volition. But I'm pretty confident that The Rock, at one point in his professional football career coming out of college, had an offer to play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Close, but not quite. It is the CFL,
Or
but it was the Stampeders, Calgary.
That's right, it was Calgary.
Yeah, but
And then my second weird niche football reference is that the Saskatchewan Roughriders are named directly in Tom Clancy's novel Hawks. If you've never read Hawks, it's the book that the game was based on. And it's about these like special operative fighter pilots
right,
who pilot experimental jets. And this book was written in what would be considered like the third generation air platform era. So like we were still like the F-14 Tomcat was still like the fighter jet of the day.
right, yeah,
So the book covered like these pilots who were testing and piloting in experimental operations the F-22 Raptor. This book is pretty old, but the main character of the book was a college football player, and before he joins the Air Force and becomes a part of this unit, it's a reference thing. And that's how I discovered that Tom Clancy is a fan of the CFL. And specifically, he's a member of Rider Nation. I did not know that beforehand. But in that book, it is that he didn't get an offer from any of the American teams, but he gets an offer from the Saskatchewan Roughriders in some no-name league up in Canada. Is how it's phrased.
Yeah. What that was, I couldn't figure out where, like, what you were talking about because I've never read the book, so I took a quick look here. Troy Lynch, the main character,
the protagonist of Hawks.
He's a former American football player. It does not specifically name the CFL, but it does.
I've read that book.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah.
What it does do, instead of specifically naming the CFL, is it does discuss the Saskatchewan Roughriders briefly. And it also mentions something about the anomaly of having two Rough Rider teams with the same name in the CFL, because apparently it was making reference to the defunct Ottawa Rough Riders.
It's been a while since I read that book, but no, it's pretty pointedly Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, so it's naming the team, but it's not naming the league, which is where it's kind of getting confused, because it's like, well, if you're naming the team, you have to name the league. Well, no, it doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't have to do that.
It's just a weird sporting reference.
No, that's fair.
Super niche, super out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, this one time in this Tom Clancy book I read, he talks about the CFL. Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. Anyways,
yeah.
A nickel for every time I knew a weird football fact, I'd have 2 nickels.
If we're
a lot. That's weird that it happened twice.
the two football career points that The Rock had before he uh before he pivoted to wrestling and acting was he was a defensive tackle for the University of Miami, so the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep.
For
Yep.
those of you that watch the UFL, um, he won a national championship with them in 1991, and then he went undrafted for the 95 NFL draft. Um, and when that didn't work out for him, he went to the CFL to see if he could get drafted. Stampeders
Yep.
draft him, and they cut him before he ever got to play a game.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, he didn't make training camp.
Yep. Yep.
Which makes sense. A lot of American football players struggle with the CFL because up until the recent rule changes for next season, which will change how the game is played next year, but our game by Americans is viewed as more physically intensive because the fields are long.
Yep.
And the change in football size from the American football, which is slightly smaller, to the Canadian one fucks them up because suddenly catching and
Other way
throwing
around.
is different.
Other way around.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Our
Yes.
ball is bigger.
Yes. No.
Yeah,
Ours is
which is nice.
longer, but we use a thinner skin, so it's not as bulky to hold. Whereas the American one is literally like a fucking hand grenade. I know because I have one of each. I have a Rough Rider signed CFL ball sitting beside a Green Bay signed NFL ball. And the NFL one is shorter, but fuck is it pudgy. It is
It's
even
fat.
with my big ass hands, it's hard for me to palm that ball.
It's got a girth certificate.
Yep. It's the manly man's dream.
The roommates have been listening, and the whoa that I just got on it has a girth certificate is hilarious.
Yeah, I'd run too.
I barely caught it through my headset. But yeah, so anyways, the Tangent Room, a show that knows a lot of weird things about sports. Let's talk about how we're also bad at other things. I'm bad at technology, which is not a trait shared exclusively to you. I'm sure it's the mind flayer at work, really is what it is.
Oh, it gotta be.
So
Want to
it's
see a
winter
magic
time
trick?
here in Canada, like in where we live. And it's a joke on how hard it is to say our provincial name. It's winter time. So in the industry,
Hold on, our provincial name. Motherfucker just names the country and says provincial, as if there isn't like 12 other provinces within our country.
You watched the Tom Clancy show too. You know the provinces aren't.
Oh rural. Yeah, no, it's all just Ojibwe territory in Winnipeg.
Exactly. So for the last week at this point, I've been doing like make work projects because I'm waiting on a road trip that I finally have a go date. Yeah, I finally have a date for.
Okay.
So I get to go to Winnipeg, Canada next week, famed from its appearance in Tom Clancy's Black Watch.
Go check out that pet shelter for me.
I will find that pet shelter. That is one of my missions. But so in my infinite time that I have at my disposal, I've been trying to come up with things to basically pass the time. So when I'm alone in the office, I watch Top Gear, and I just, between calls and customers, because you shared a Google Drive with all 22 series on it, so that's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
And it's been great for killing the time.
You're welcome.
The best gift I've ever been given.
Anybody who wants to learn anything about cars, hit me up. I can send you the drive.
Yep. You just watch Top Gear. You'll learn everything you need to know.
Yep.
Oversteer is when you lose the back end and you wrap the car around the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Understeer is when you lose the front end and you slide into the tree. Thank you, Richard Hammond.
Speed has never killed anybody. Suddenly becoming stationary. That's what gets you.
Words to live by, really.
Oh, they are.
So I make what is considered to be a low pressure solution panel.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is it's a metal channel that actually I will put a picture of in the threads in the yarn for everybody to look at later.
Okay.
Not right now. I'm talking.
We're prettier than the threads.
You don't want to see this. It's not that pretty. Actually, it looks pretty good.
You're sitting there with a fucking Christmas sweater on.
Yeah, it's 'tis the season. It's the only thing of festive anything I own. Yes, rookie, it's car smut. So
Yes.
I build these panels, and they're all self-contained.
Yep.
And there's measurements and holes to be drilled. Stuff gets mounted on them. It's a really kinky process.
Yeah, I like the way you run your lines.
They're pretty good. They have to be like that. That's just the only way it works on that panel.
No, you don't. Well, shit like that, you don't want to get it tangled.
So, if I've learned the first piece of advice I was ever given about the car wash industry is everything should be loopy, because a loop indicates that you have more than you needed. So you have excess if you require it later.
Right. Well,
so it should all have loops in it. Anyways, back to the point.
Well, and I just to quickly touch on that. Anybody who knows anything about running lines and hoses, that is probably the best solution, rather than it being too short, because too short, you're just gonna kink shit.
It's better a mile too long than an inch too short.
Yeah.
Because if it's too short, you're gonna strain it unnecessarily. If it's too long, if something goes wrong, you have excess that you can pull from.
You still have a way to save it.
So I build these panels, and now my boss, his biggest gripe about these panels is that,
of course, the old man
every
has
time
a gripe.
the old man always has a gripe. Every time I start a new one, he always looks at me, and I know it's just a jeer, because they've all been fairly identical, except for like I make light changes to each one just to simplify the service process down the line. When it does have to be fixed, that has to be pretty straightforward, so you can do it fast.
Right.
But I have no standardized schematic or drawing for any of these. I do it all off the dome. I lay everything out, and then I'll look at a picture of an old one, and I'll like maybe make an adjustment, but they're all slightly different. Just usually within half an inch is my margin for error.
Educated approximations.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not an expert, but I am an authority on the subject. So
if you say you're perfect, you're a fucking liar.
Far from that, brother. But so this week I took it upon myself because I had to build the one that I sent the picture of in Threads in the Yarn.
Yeah.
And I went through, and I'd done this with the last one I built too, but these ones are different. I went through and I actually drew out schematics. I wish I'd brought them home with me. They're currently in a PDF, and I could probably share them, but that's my intellectual property. Make your own. So I drew out and I traced out where everything goes, and I measured it, with a system that's fairly easy to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like all my measurements are indicated from the closest outside edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, so when you build it, you have to set what top is. That's step one, whether it be vertical or horizontal, stuff like that. So I have a measurement sheet, and then I have a component list, and then I have like an actual schematic for like how everything should go together. And I'm still working on the schematic because I'm bad at CAD, but I've been working on this for today's Wednesday. So I started Monday afternoon. I decided that I was finally going to buckle down. I was going to do the thing. Yesterday afternoon, I decided we should have a costing sheet, because we sell these things all the time. They're actually fairly popular because they're cheaper than the alternative, which is a stainless steel version of the same thing that our Winnipeg office builds. So you get stainless steel hat channel and then the freight to get it here, and it's just a big deal. So we build one in-house.
Yeah.
I build one in-house, and I'm the only one that can build them at this point. So I was like, I need to be able to standardize this so the next person can do it. And I'd like to have a document that I could reference for all of my costs, and that I can edit in the future. Costs go up year after year. It's a standardized thing. So today I spent 3 hours in Microsoft Excel trying to build a spreadsheet. Now, I've built spreadsheets before, and all of my spreadsheets, like my monthly budgeting, is in a spreadsheet. And I just, as numbers change, I change the values, I do the math, I don't really care. It's just me. It's not that important. But for work, I wanted it automatic so that the old guy could do it. He could go in, he'd go, well, the price for this increased by $13. And he could just go in, he could click the buttons, he could exit the cell, and it would automatically do all of the math for him. How perfect is that? Time savings and efficiency. It turns out I don't know how Excel works. I thought I could figure it out. Luckily, one of the roommates she is absolutely a subject matter expert at this point. She could write a paper on Excel. I could not. So I am messaging the house group chat. I'm like, hey, quick question. How do you make two numbers add up to each other? What do? How formula?
How math?
How math? And like how 1 equal 2 in Excel. And how make 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 equal 8, right? Like how do I do that? Because I don't know. Like how do I do multi-cell formulas?
Right.
Because with Excel,
there's no
Excel formulas are, I've learned, very straightforward, but there is like a little complexity to it. And the next bit that I needed, so once I figured out addition, I then had to figure out multiplication. So this formula sheet, I do not have to go through my emails in the back. It's a dog-like process to get to Excel on this computer because I don't actually have Excel. So to create a formula that does multiplication, the way I did it is I went equal product, and then in parentheses, the first cell multiplied by the second cell with the answer in the cell you start the formula in. That's important. It has to be in the cell you start the formula in. Took me a while to figure that one out too. Like half an hour. Let's not talk about that. So I got the first one done. And then I realized I have another 30 line items to go through to get multiplied values for. Because it's every item, part number, description, net cost, quantity required, total cost. And then at the bottom, there is a panel cost number. That's the sum calculation, is that number. I couldn't figure out how to make the formulas that the formula I typed here, because I know there's a way to do it in Excel that you can have a formula fill so that it will automatically recreate that formula for every line in the sweep. And so I Googled it while I was, because I'm trying to explain this over text, and it's not working. They probably thought at this point I was borderline illiterate. I cannot type a description to save my life, and I'm having the world's worst day over it. And then finally, I find an answer on Google as I'm going back and forth with my authority on the topic, and I'm like, all right, cool. You can drop fill formulas, and it will automatically adjust the formula based on relative positioning. Perfect. And so you click on the cell with the formula in it, and you hit Control D, and it will drop fill. And then it didn't drop fill.
Yeah.
And then it didn't drop fill. And at this point, I've got the Mind Flayer in my right hand, and I am beating it against the desk. Like, why is this not working?
Yeah,
And my roommates are confused because I'm explaining the problem terribly. And then finally, I drag and drop. Because you can select multiple cells, you can create like a table of cells with your cursor. So I drag the whole line, and then I hit Control D. And then I watch as all of the numbers I need generate. And then my sum value on the bottom reflects the change. And I'm like, this must be how it feels to be a god made flesh. Like, I've cracked the matrix code. I am the best to ever Excel, and I'm stoked. And I show Kelly, and Kelly's stoked because he doesn't get it either.
Oh no,
So
he's worse off than you are.
The two old men in an office in the North Industrial are like, this is the greatest piece of technology to ever exist. And then I recreate my sheet for the second variation of the panel, and I make all of my changes, and everything still works. I double check all my formulas. We're all still good. Gucci. Sweet. Job's done. Took me 6 hours total of fucking with Excel. I get home, and I was like, I told them, I was like, I figured it out. I love and appreciate all of your guys' help. I'll show you guys my spreadsheet when I get home, because I'm pretty stoked on this. Now,
so I should put in for
Have you
context, while you were beating the mind flare against the wooden block, trying to figure out Excel, I was trying to play Dawn of War 1 Winter Assault, which is one of the most difficult ones to play because nice Rolling Stones.
thank you. That's why I own it.
Because of the fourth mission in the campaign, you are given a quarter of the size of a normal Warhammer army against a full-size army of Chaos Space Marines and Orcs, which is the one you heard me flipping my shit to when you joined the Discord call earlier.
Yeah.
That's why. You are going up against two fully stocked armies while you have a Land Raider, an assault squad unit for Ultramarines that's protecting the Land Raider, and you have two Chimeras, two Guardsman squads, and a Commissar. That's it. That's it. You know how little that's gonna do? You got Chaos Space Marines and fucking Orcs. So yeah, I have never gotten mad at that game before, and I played it for all of 20 minutes. So I didn't even get through one mission, because obviously I'm trying to beat that mission. And I got angry and fucking rage quit. And then I get a message from you like 20 minutes later. Hey, if you started drooling there for a little bit, I was just flogging our mind flare, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the time that the chromosome mental synchronization decides to turn on, and I just completely flip my shit at a game that should have just been easy and done with.
Isn't it awesome?
Because as soon as you text me saying you got it figured out, I realized I feel a lot calmer. I want to go back and try it again. I fucking hate you so much.
God, we really are the dumbest motherfuckers on Twitch.tv.
I don't. I don't get it.
It's so funny to me. So, anyways, the conclusion of this story is I get home. This is after watching a vehicle try to make a turn in winter conditions twice and laughing at them.
Decided to run through the light twice.
Listening to everybody complain about road conditions, and I'm like, it's bad, but if you take a little bit more caution, it's not the end of the world. It's still very drivable.
I'm just glad I have those new tires on the truck. It has made the Durango a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's if you have decent tires and enough wherewithal to know how to drive, then you're golden.
Well,
even with the roads as they are. So I get home, and I need to state that this is not me like slighting her in any way, but I show my roommates my Excel spreadsheet, and this is the greatest thing I've ever done. Like, this is 5-year-old Chris with the picture to mom. Like, can we put it on the fridge?
Can you put my macaroni picture on the fridge?
And so I show them this document, and I'm like, and so I used these, and then I used this formula, and now it all works. And I was like, check this out. And I like change a couple things, and it automatically makes all my changes. I'm like, this is rad. This is the coolest thing ever, isn't it? And I'm watching, and she's sitting there looking at my monitor like this, just unimpressed.
All standard business.
And then she looks at me and she goes, why did you use the product formula?
Oh.
And then turns back. And I'm like,
oh no!
What do you mean? And so I was, it was funny to me because I was like, oh.
That was the most passive aggressive slight ever. It's like, I know you think you did good, but I'm here to give you reality.
And that was not the intention behind the statement. It was a genuine question. I was like, what other formula? Like, what are you talking about?
There's more than one?
There's another way to do this. The big issue that I had when I was doing it was I couldn't figure out how to drop fill the formula. So there was a moment in time where I was doing it one cell at a time. I was inputting the formula, and it was even like auto-filling it for me relative to what I needed, because Excel will autofill based on previous line values. So it was like I got like 4 in before I finally figured out how to make it work.
Right.
And I was just sat there like wow. It was one of those like, I feel like big dumb stupid idiot, but I also feel like a god. Like, this has got to be how people that are good at this feel all the time.
One or the other, like, man.
Signature look of superiority.
You're either big dumb idiot or you're fucking god.
So that was my funny work story, and then I have a funny life lesson.
Don't use Excel.
For the people at home. No, use Excel. It's a great tool. It works really good if you know what you're doing. I just don't. That's on me.
That's the trick.
That's the trick. So I play games. I've been known to play games on occasion.
Yeah,
now on my desk.
I've seen you on here and there.
You've seen me play games. It's been known I've streamed a game a couple of times.
Yeah.
So on my desk, because hydrate or dihydrate, homie, I keep a water bottle, which is blurred because of course it is. It's a 1 liter Belgian water bottle you can get at any Walmart.
Yeah.
It's a great water bottle. It was a gift from a dear friend, and I will use it till it breaks or I die, whichever comes first. Probably I die. So when I'm playing games, I like to be able to take sips because I also have an addiction problem. So if I pop a nicotine pouch in, there's like a initial hit that you got to work through with water. Now, I left it open on my desk while we were playing games last night. And I went to go grab my water bottle as I was turning to talk to my roommates, and they both watched it happen. And I felt it happen in slow motion as hand went like Lego hand, but without the shook, as like it grabbed the thing.
Right.
And I bumped my water bottle, and then it's one of those things where you only watch it happen in like bullet time as the water bottle just slowly drops, and then it drops, and everything goes back to real time, and it's just as it dumped a liter of water across my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Across my desk, onto my keyboard, into my keyboard, onto my computer, which is sat right to the left of my desk.
Yep, I can see the tower, the lights shifting in the blurred.
Yeah. Yep. Into the USB headers.
Oh.
Onto my seat. In through the grilling on my case. Nothing broke. The water went around the core components.
Okay, good. Well.
And last night when I got I played for another 3-4 hours 2-3 hours last night. we cleaned it up pretty thoroughly. I had some weird issues, like my mouse stopped working because it's a USB mouse. The dongle for it's in the top.
Yep.
So had some technical difficulties up front, and then I when I got off last night, I turned it off. I unplugged all of my USBs in the top, and I just let it dry out. Over the course of the day, because it gets really hot in the office. So my life lesson here is, if you're gonna keep a fluid on your desk, put it somewhere that you're not gonna bump it. That's point 1. Point 2, just don't do what I did, right? just don't. It was so stressful. So I have on my desk a USB splitter, and I hope I can do this without it disconnecting everything, because I think it's just my wheel and my USB Type B. So I have this little Anchor USB splitter.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on while I just very quickly turn this off. So I have this little USB splitter. It's made by Anchor. I bought it on Amazon. It's a USB 3.1 splitter. this end of it you can't see in the camera, but it's very funnel shaped. It's
Okay,
like
yeah.
there's a recess into where
Yeah.
the cord goes.
Yeah.
And there is a gap in the jacketing to the
Oh,
hard plastic shell. So the water that was on here went into here. And so now, whenever my racing wheel is plugged into it, usually all the time, because I just slide my wheel out and slide it back when I'm done,
right.
it is constantly connecting and disconnecting because the internals of this have failed in that USB head end. Oh, it is a fate worse than death. It is it's mildly stressful too. That was like the fastest the three of us have moved in conjunction to complete any task.
What would make you think that keeping anything bigger than like a half liter, like a cup of water on your desk is a good idea? Is my first question. Like, there's
It
a
gets hot in
reason.
here,
Well,
and I sweat a lot.
yeah, but you don't. You can have it with you, but not on your desk.
We have a cat. She won't jump on my desk while I'm sat at it.
True, but think of this: if it has a lid and you know the cat's a problem, you're not going to willingly put it down on the ground without the lid on, right?
Listen, I'm going to tell you I'm extremely spill prone. I spill everything and never willingly. I have spilt coffee setting it onto my desk. Whenever we're, and like my desk isn't very big, like the actual workable surface space of it.
Right.
So like when I'm drinking, I keep like my pouches up on the top shelf, which is very small. And then I rack the cans in the farthest corner.
Mm-hmm.
And when I play games, I only use like the bottom half of my mouse pad.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stack them up at the top. But usually when I hit 3 or 4, I'll take my empties, I'll put them in the recycling bag, I'll grab my next 2, and I'll come back out and I'll just keep doing it until I can't no more. Or it's time for bed because EP.
You want to know the main reason why I don't keep
I've
drinks on my
spilled
desk anymore?
because you have a daughter. That's
4 liters.
yeah, pretty good too. It's
Like,
my
my
water bottle is less
like
than that.
I'm a big guy.
Can confirm.
Yep. Makes a good mace.
I've spilled coffee on my desk, beer on my desk, juice on my desk, water on my desk.
Hey, Dad.
I got soup on my desk one time. That sucked.
Quit putting things on your desk.
No. My desk is like the only space that I use consistently other than the counter in the kitchen when I'm eating my sandwiches. All right.
Sandwich.
It just is like that sometimes. It's just one of those things where like I'm much more cautious, and like I have to think about how I'm grabbing my water bottle when I do it, just because sometimes hands go rock, and then suddenly I'm just a Lego guy, and like hands stop working because mind flayer gone.
Yep.
It'd be like that sometimes, and then like I'll work on stuff, and I am pretty well like oriented. I have pretty good hand-eye coordination most of the time, except for when it matters. Apparently, it just be like that sometimes.
Can't catch a falling water bottle, but I'll catch a hot welder.
Yeah. That scrap of bolts that I just angle grinded off that's about 300 degrees, I catch that before it hit the floor.
I did that by accident. When actually, you remember when I came over to the shop to help you get the seized lug nuts off your sister's car, and
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that all were like shearing as fast as I could like even try to break them loose.
I remember the one that I was actually able to cut off. The piece went flying, and I instinctively went, "Oh!" and reached up and caught it in the air. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I started dancing
Yeah.
around as I threw it on the counter.
It's always such a menace. Like it's every time you don't want to catch a thing, that's suddenly when your
No
cat
thought
like
process.
reflexes
Just
kick in.
yeah, do it.
No, it's just like, oh, got it. And then it's like somebody throws you something nice and they're like, hey, catch. And they throw it to you and you watch it hang in the air and you line up and then it hits you in the chest and hits the floor. And you're like, okay, like, I guess that's how it be.
It's almost like the oxymoron. If it causes you pain to catch it, you're gonna catch it.
Yes.
Like you'll catch
the
a hot
cops will
iron.
never catch me because I've burnt my fingerprints off so many times. At this point, like it's just gone.
You heard it
And then
here,
they grow
folks. If
back
I
and
ever
they're
go
new.
missing, we gotta laugh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, we watched the Game Awards last week.
Correct.
And there was lots of really cool things that were
Yes.
announced at the Game Awards last week.
Yes.
I am curious to know what you're most looking forward to from the Game Awards last week that we watched on stream at twitch.tv/SergeantCobra98.
See, I don't know if I have a particular favorite that I'm gunning for, but I am looking forward to the Warlock Dungeons and Dragons game. The Bladelock
Yeah, that looks
one.
really cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
It doesn't have to be like one in specific. I was curious, like overall. We watched the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was really good. What's the vibe? Like which ones are you like, these are games I'm definitely checking out when they come out?
Phantom Blade Zero. 1000% checking out Phantom Blade Zero. I have been paying attention to that one since it was a concept 3 years ago. Right around the time I started actually doing my streams and stuff. I heard about this and I am really excited for it. So yeah, that, the Warlock one. I still would like to know more about what Divinity actually is, because the only thing we got to see was
Divinity,
that cult like Burning Man.
I watched a lore primer for it yesterday.
Okay.
Because I was also curious. Divinity is, as I had kind of guessed, it's a part, there is a series of games called Divinity.
Yeah.
The most recent two that most people are aware of are the Divinity Original Sins games. And I think if somebody was to roll back the tapes on the stream last week,
okay,
I had guessed and kind of asked, I was like, I wonder if this is a new Divinity, like a new Original Sins game, because I didn't know there was more games than those two.
Right.
Turns out they've been around for a while. They're about as, to put like a timestamp on it, they're about as old as like Warcraft 3 is, and like Baldur's Gate,
yeah,
like the original Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're the original ones were DOS PC games, or like not DOS, but like
I know what you're
like early Windows games.
Yeah.
So they're a similar style of game to, if you've heard of it, there's a Pathfinder game. What was the other game that I was going to pull for this? Because I did a little thinking on it. They're kind of like Baldur's Gate. The style is different. They're not totally Dungeons and Dragons, but they are adjacent to it. Because like Wizards is very particular about who's allowed to use their IP. So like the pantheon of gods in Divinity is very similar to like D&D as is.
Right.
But the system's slightly different. I think it's a D100 system as opposed to D20. So it's an old game, and this one, kind of the lore primer and like his guesses about it was it's going to be the most recent chronological addition to the franchise, because Original Sins and Original Sins 2 take place earlier in the chronology of the Divinity universe.
Yeah.
So it'll be that kind of top-down isometric, like tactical, I guess, role-playing game is what you'd call it.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to that too.
So
Um,
one of I guess just kind of like starting from the beginning of the list, because I am actually looking forward to most of these games. Um, the Free Shepherd, I am interested
yeah.
in checking that one out. I don't know if that's like a top
Oh, I'm playing
priority
it.
for me to check out, but I am interested in it.
Number one priority. Let me play as a border collie.
Um, I'm interested. I actually, oddly enough, I'm interested in Bradley the Badger, the one where the platformer where
Oh
you go
yeah,
through
like the
the
yeah
different like universes, the like
yeah.
Cyberpunk, Bloodborne, stuff like that.
It's like an old school like the I think the genre is called a hero game or a hero platformer, and it's the term was
Yeah,
coined with like Jack and Daxter, Spyro, Crash
yeah,
Bandicoot. Like it's kind of in that vein, but it
hmm
has that like split fiction aspects to it,
yeah, and more like
where it's not
modernized and stuff.
limited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, let's not forget one of the top tier ones I am looking forward to, Fate of the Old Republic. Star Wars. We
100%.
can't ignore that one. That one I'm looking forward
Nope.
to. Um, like I said, I want to check out Divinity, but I would like to see more of what the story's about. Because Larian didn't really give us a lot other than the occultish Burning Man.
It's
Um,
supposed to be a bigger game than Baldur's Gate 3, which is
I've never even made it
wild.
halfway through Act 1 of Baldur's Gate. Every time I start a game with someone, something happens and we never get to continue it. Honestly, at this point,
Same.
I'm ready to just say fuck it. I'm gonna stream it so that I actually have a set schedule and I will eventually finish it.
I'm gonna send you the lore primer that I watched yesterday because it was actually pretty good
For
in the
Divinity.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say I was more excited for Resident Evil Requiem, but in reality, I wasn't. Just because I don't know enough about the Resident Evil universe. I've never played any of them. I've seen most of the movies, but the movies have nothing to do with the games. So I really, honestly, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's cool. But in reality, the thing that was going through my mind was, yay, that's another Resident Evil game I now have to save money for, for when I do the series. Um, Exodus,
I'm
not really looking forward to that.
that's where you're wrong.
I think it could be cool, but I'm just not excited
I
for
think
another version of Mass Effect that could end up very much like Andromeda.
I think Exodus is, and I think I said this. No, I said this to Brad before D&D last Friday. I think Exodus is going to be what Andromeda could have
Should
been
have been.
if
That's
they'd made it
fair.
well.
I think with
Yeah,
that,
and that's why I want to play it,
my opinion's
because
probably
everything about that
gonna
trailer was like, this is Andromeda, but better.
yeah. And see, I think my opinion about that is more than likely gonna change once it comes out and I see some of the gameplay. You know,
Yeah.
because like
The big
I don't
thing,
want to spend $90 on a game that turns out just to be like Andromeda.
I will,
Okay,
and I'll tell you
you
all
will
about
be
it.
the guinea pig.
I will be the guinea pig. We'll do my favorite tangent, which is buy it, save it, or pass it.
Yeah.
It's my bad review show that I do to
Um,
my friends
I like
when I
that
buy a new
actually.
game, and I'm like,
I like that.
it's good. Should you buy it full price? Should you wait for it to go on sale, or should you pass on it?
I am
And
very
usually the
much.
pass on it, I usually, if it's like kind of appealing, I'll
Hmm.
recommend you like watch Rad Brad or something, because like his playthroughs are always very good.
Yeah,
The OG himself.
I am very much looking forward to Control Resonant, Control 2,
Yeah,
because I am on the
that's gonna be good.
verge of going through the Alan Wake series. That is more than likely when I put it up for a vote. As soon as I'm
Yeah.
done, I'm hoping to be done Andromeda in the next, hopefully 2 or 3 streams, and
Where are
then
you at in Andromeda now?
I I I just got to Kadara Port.
Okay, yeah. So you're still a little ways behind me. I haven't.
The thing is though is that on stream I'm only doing the main missions. All the
Yeah,
side quest stuff I'm
no, I'm
going
aware
back and doing off stream. So, which
because
I've
it's boring as shit.
yeah yeah
I think the only time you're gonna have to exempt that rule is with the arcs. I haven't found
Yeah,
them yet.
yeah,
All of my
yeah.
arcs are on hold, that's such an aggravating system. Like, I get it.
I
They were like
fucking hate
Andromeda's
that.
gotta wait on the real world timer, but like and like it's gotta wait for certain story milestones. Don't.
No, just
Because I've found the last two planets the last planet after Kadara Port. There's only one more that you have to like worry about viability with.
well, yeah, because Kadara would be the fourth viability one out of the
The
fifth, out
fourth.
of the five. Yeah,
I still cannot put a colony on Kadara Port because that whole thing, and you'll hit it too, is locked behind a on hold style quest. And it's irritating as shit. And that's where I stopped playing the game. Straight up, I hit the fifth planet, and I was like, "Wait, I never put a colony on Kadara Port." And I went back and I looked, and it was like you have to talk to this guy who you meet when you first get there.
right.
And then I went through his thing, and then he's like, he invites you to a party, whatever. You got to cover for him, and then you get done with that, and it's like, all right, cool. Now wait on hold because you have to go through this one NPC to establish a colony.
Yeah.
It is the dumbest shit.
Well,
And
that's
I
just
was
like
like, nope,
with the
I'm done. This game is garbage.
yeah.
I'm never playing it again.
The
I don't want to
Asari
touch it.
the Asarian that does the interviews, Carrie.
Yep.
Like you do 5 fucking main missions just to do a 30-second interview with her, and then she says, "Okay, come back when I have more." Is this
Yeah.
gonna be an all game thing? Like,
Yep.
swear to God, she is.
Yes, it is.
She is Andromeda's Conrad Werner, and I want to fucking
Yep.
deck her so hard.
It's
Also, I think I may have fucked up my love story because Vetra will not like. I have done all of the love interest stuff with her specifically, but for some reason, it's just stopped. All dialogue with all the characters, other than PB, has stopped, and I didn't get an option for a love interest with her, but somehow I still ended up having zero gravity intercourse with her in her airlock.
yeah, because that's a choice you make.
Uh,
You have to like it very. I didn't, and that's how you keep her paramour tree alive.
but
I learned.
how though? Because I literally said no, I don't want that. I literally walked in there to talk to her about the Remnant VI that she made.
Yeah.
The Remnant version. What do they call it? Zap? She calls it.
Zap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went in there to talk to her about that, and she literally turned around and was like, "Hey, want to have some fun in the airlock, zero gravity?" And I was like, "No, no, I came to ask about the Remnant VI." And then suddenly I was
Yeah, you heard that right, rookie. Will had space sex with the blue lady.
yeah with the blue lady, and then suddenly
Which is the
I
only
was
correct
I was
choice.
thrown into the cutscene of it fading away from the closed airlock doors while you can hear PB laughing, and I'm just like, so it didn't even give me a choice. It just threw me into it. It just completely fucked me over.
Um, that okay. If you said no, she doesn't do anything.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to remember.
But that's also when I found out that a few of the additional tasks that I have are glitched out. So I don't know, like, the further into this game I go, the more things get really messy. Like, I'm noticing the worse it gets the further in I go.
Okay. She hates Lexi. Everybody knows that.
Yep, I just finished going through all that with finding Lexi in the Vortex bar on Nexus.
Um, right later on, Ryder can engage in zero-G flings PB until such a time as they lock into a romance with another character, at which point flirting options that lead to casual encounters will no longer be available. Yeah, okay.
So that's non-consequential. So even though it screwed me in the sense that I said no and it did it anyways.
It is possible to turn her down and agree to casual sex. Possible if you're pursuing someone else or request strings attached. Either the two latter options could be used to pursue romance later on. So it shouldn't have locked you out.
Okay, good, because when
That's what this is saying.
when I told her no, I don't want that, The cutscene that it cut to, what she said to me after I said no thank you was, so no strings attached it is, and then the cutscene happened and I was like, okay, did I just get fucked over here? That's what that is then, is she's seeing it as a non-committal typical PB thing. Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty weird.
That makes me feel a lot
And
better because I
the
want
only
my
reason
love
why I want to
interest in
go
that
back to
game to
that
be
game is to
Vetra.
finish that fucking Paramore tree.
Dude, I gotta send the video to you. I found a video of PB talking to Joel in the Nomad, and a lot of the times,
Their conversations
oh,
are some of the funniest.
dude, it's hilarious. Most of the time, Joel pretends to be sleeping, and it gets to a point where PB starts acting like
Yeah.
there's sexual scenes happening, and then Joel's like, "Do you need to let me out so you can have privacy?" And she's like, "Oh, you were faking it." Apparently, so were you. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's so funny. The interactions of that game were like the only thing that kept me playing as long as I did. I got my
Yeah.
Steam recap today and it was like, hey, you played this game a lot. And I was like, God damn it.
A lot of
Why
that
it's
was
so
just
bad.
driving around. But going
So
back,
anyways,
yes,
back to the Game Awards.
back to that. I want to check out Gang of Dragon because I want to see if that's a continuation of the Yakuza series. Because I know the
I think
developer
it
that
might
made,
be.
well, yeah, because the Yakuza series developer Toshihiro Nagoshi, he's the one making it. So
Yeah.
I want to see if that's what that is like for certain. I will admit, because I am a bit of a Lego nerd, I am really looking forward to the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I want to state on the record, though, here live, that the ones I am looking forward to the most are the Tomb Raider games. I'm looking
Hell yeah.
forward to Legacy of Atlantis and Catalyst, the return of the classic
There's
lore.
no need to justify
Yep,
that.
yep,
We all get it.
yep.
It's the Tomb Raider games.
Yep. I
Uh,
am very excited to see 007 First Light because I
that'll be
also,
cool.
yeah, I honestly, me and Dad used to play the 007 games on the PS2 back in the day a fuck ton. I really enjoyed the 007 games. I'm really excited that Lenny Kravitz agreed to be Bama, the villain,
Yeah.
because I want to see the Jamaican-esque, villain. That's going to seem really cool. Lords of the Fallen 2, I'm happy about, but I don't know enough about it to truly be excited story wise because I own the first game on Epic, but I have not played it yet. It is on the list to play for Souls Likes on Mondays eventually, but I recently just bit the bullet and bought Neo 1 because it was on its Christmas sale for $6.
Yeah.
So I figured
The Neo
I might as
games.
well pick that up. Because they're also
The
making
Neo
a third
games are
one.
cool. They are.
Yeah.
Played the first two. They're cool in the way that they're like they're they're not Souls likes. I wouldn't call them. They're high skill ceiling games. Sure.
Yeah.
Like you can get very good at them, but they don't like a Souls like game for the most part has like it has a high starting gate where like you can figure out the movement and the combat very early.
Oh, that's your mic doing that.
And
Okay. Crackling.
yeah, if you can figure out if you can figure out the game early, you have a significant leg up, and that helps you for the rest of the game. Neo didn't really have that. Neo plays like a Souls like, but it feels like a hack and slash game,
Yeah.
kind of like a Ninja Gaiden.
No, that's
And then
I could see
it's
that.
like bosses tie into I can't remember what religion it is, but like their mythology, which is kind of cool.
Well, cuz isn't Neo's like background setting and mythology supposed to be you wash up on the banks of one of the like Japanese coast islands or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an action role-playing game, not a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a supernatural game. It's basically what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find like the exact.
I think honestly,
Because I played it on the PlayStation 3.
I think the biggest reason it gets put into the Souls-like category is because it's set in like dark fantasy.
Yeah, it's the dark fantasy version of the late Sengoku period, um, prior to the start of the Edo period in Japan, because you
Yeah.
wake up on one of the Japanese islands,
Mm-hmm.
as an Irishman, is like who
That's
the
what
main
it
character
was.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, William Adams. It's played by Ben Peel.
Okay.
Trying to remember what is this going to tell me where. No, I'm not going to get like what the lore was based on. It's just based on feudal Japan. But it has like a weird, um, the setting to it is weird. It's a cool game. I did enjoy
Yeah.
it.
No, that's fair.
It's easier to play than a Souls-like for sure, which is nice.
Star Wars Galactic Racers. 100% looking forward to a new Star Wars racing game.
That would be cool.
Because it's, from what I've seen of it, it's a mixture of speed racing and pod racing.
I do kind of wish a little bit in my heart of hearts
That it was a straight out pod racer.
that it was a pod racer.
I think a lot of people were. I know a lot of people are excited for Ace Combat 8. Every video
I've seen that's a reaction of it is like, oh man, it's a new pod racer. And then they see, and it's like, and then it's super name. Not. They're just like, oh.
Yeah, they see the name. Like, I actually saw one guy react to that trailer, and he was like, this is a new pod racer. And then the title came up, and he's like, Galactic Racer. Huh, I wonder why they called that. It's a new pod racer. And somebody in his chat commented, did you not see the speeder bikes? It's not a pod racer. I know a lot of people are excited for Ace Combat 8. I've never played an Ace Combat game, so...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Honestly...
I love the Ace.
I played a lot of the fighter plane games back on PS2 with, like, the inverted controls, but none of them were Ace Combat.
I was so my uncle, one of them, was is a gamer. He isn't so much anymore just because it's too expensive to kind of update his old consoles, so he's kind of given up on that.
Right.
But when we were kids and we got our first PlayStation, at the time we didn't have a ton of games for it, and my mom, he used to come over to the house and we'd have dinner together, and he'd do his laundry while he was there. We'd play games with him. It was a good time. And I remember my mom was like, hey, do you have PlayStation games that the kids could play? And he was like, yeah, I have some. The next time I'm here, I'll bring you some PlayStation games. And Matt and I were like, hell yeah, that's rad. So he brought us the first 2 Ace Combat games and Driver. And like Driver, the original Driver, if you've never played it, is notorious that you cannot make it past the tutorial.
I've played the Driver games. My personal favorite was probably either 3 or San Francisco.
San Francisco was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of 3, because he later brought us the others to play.
I think the thing that drew me to San Francisco was the ability, like if you were playing
to swap. A car. Hell yeah.
That was because I would.
Like, oh, that's a cool car.
I
immediately
would
switch.
I would ram into, the guy that I used to play it with, because we would just sit there on the couch and play it on the PS3. I would run into him on the San Francisco Bridge at max speed, and then switch out of the vehicle and go into another vehicle, so that as I get into the new vehicle, I could see this ghost car wham into his car full force. And then I'd just, drive by him waving.
Yeah. but yeah, so the original Ace Combat game was a lot of fun. And I remember Nat and I taking turns trying to beat it, and we got stuck on a mission that was like you have to land on an aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And the old Ace Combat games held your hands less than the new ones do, which seems wild because the new ones don't really hold your hand. They're just like, here's a jet and a very brief control tutorial.
Yeah.
Have fun. And I enjoyed that a lot, but like,
Oh, shit, wrong one.
I thoroughly enjoy the Ace Combat games. Every time I've had the chance to play one, like a new one as they've come out,
Yeah.
I have jumped on it. I've played the first 4, 5, and 7, and I never got to play 6.
Okay.
And I don't care enough to emulate it. So I'm really excited to play 8 because like 7 is probably one of my favorite flying games of all time. It's just the scale of it is so cool, and then the stuff that they added to it, because like Ace Combat is a fighting game in a fictional world, so
Yeah.
they take that to the nth that they can. It's like we need a new like big thing that the player has to work towards to get rid of.
Yeah.
We got it. Here's an arsenal bird. What's an arsenal bird? It's an unmanned weapons platform that flies in basically like the combat ceiling of a normal tactical jet and can deploy drones, can has the ability to resupply itself with its own drones, and can operate 24/7 without issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got this giant solar array on it because it needs to power itself, obviously. And it's just so good. The first time you encounter an arsenal bird in Ace Combat 7 is like the most terrifying moment of your life. And then when you fight the next one, like 8 missions later, you're like, your ass is mine, boy. I'm coming for you. I love the Ace Combat games.
Before we forget, I do want to name actually the one that I am probably most decidedly excited for, and I would think that you probably are as well. Total War Warhammer 40K.
Oh, absolutely.
I am fucking
I'm not.
stoked for that.
I'm excited for it because it'll give me a reason to like dedicate time to the Total War games and learn
That's
grand
fair.
strategy.
That's fair.
Because I own. Let's pull up some receipts because I own 493 games. I learned today.
I am catching up to you. I have about 423 or something like that.
I own Rome Total War, Rome Total War Alexander,
Fair.
Total War Medieval, Medieval 2,
Uh-huh.
Shogun, Shogun 2, Warhammer 1, 2, and 3 now because you gave me 3 the other day.
Correct.
I have tried to play all of them.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoy grand strategy games. I'm just dumb. I'm not good at it. Like
That's fair.
I've tried them. I've played the most. I think
Somehow I'm
Warhammer,
not surprised, Dad. That seems like
like the
something Grandpa
original
would have been
Warhammer.
into. Yeah.
And I played a lot of that, and it didn't like I watched build guides and like how-tos, and like this is the easiest army.
Mm-hmm.
Try it like this. Modify these things to make your run easier. Didn't matter what faction I picked. Didn't matter how I played, how low the difficulty was. Just absolutely dunked on all of the time. Constantly.
It'd
be like that
when
sometimes.
When it comes to mass strategy games like that, I do have a fair bit more than you just because of all the humble bundles that they give away, like C tier strategy games. Which a lot of them end up being 4X grand strategy. So I have Against the Storm. I have Company of Heroes 2, pretty common one. Diplomacy is not an option. I have Distant Worlds 2, Hexarchy. I have Homeworld 3 on Steam, but I have Homeworld 1 and 2 on Epic. Old World, the Pegasus Expedition, Spellforce Conquest of Io, which was in last month's Humble Bundle, Stellaris, which I actually really enjoyed playing Stellaris.
Stellaris is awesome.
Stellaris is good. It's the first grand strategy game I really got a hang of.
Do you have? I gotta find a game real quick. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm almost done anyways. I have Total War Pharaoh, the Total War Pharaoh Dynasties, Total War Warhammer 1, 2, and 3, and I have War Pips.
Okay, so you don't have the game that I was gonna ask about.
No, and then I do have a shit ton of turn-based strategy ones that I have kicking around in my just generic like action adventure RPG sections.
Which one of these? Oh, none of these had workshop support. You don't own one of my probably favorite. I don't know if it's technically grand strategy or not.
Which one?
I think it's technically an RTS. It's Sins of a Solar Empire.
Oh, I do not believe Sins of a Solar Empire is grand strategy. Fred and Zach play that all the fucking time, and I mean all the time.
Yeah, because the mod support for it is unreal.
Yeah, I believe that is just. Yeah, I believe that's just RTS.
If you play that, or like maybe because Christmas is coming up, somebody will buy it for you if it goes on sale. But
which one do you play? Do you play Sins of a Solar Empire 2?
No, I don't own to.
I'm guessing the one you have is Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion.
Yes. Oh, there is a 2. I wonder if it has mod support through Workshop. Doesn't look like it. But those games with a Halo mod.
Oh no, so the one Fred and Zach play all the time is the second one. The first one is classified as a 4X grand strategy.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because it's like actively difficult. But I love the Sins of a Solar Empire game because the 2 is dominance in a real-time 4X strategy game.
Yeah, and the second one,
it's grand strategy.
The second one is not classified as
space-based ones.
Grand strategy, but it is classified as a 4X RTS.
Yeah.
And see the problem with
the difference between
problem with
Stellaris is a grand strategy game.
Yes.
Sins is not. The difference usually involves how much back-end management you need to do. So like a grand strategy game is like our friend Byron is big into Victoria 3. That's a grand strategy game.
Yeah.
They're extremely difficult because you have to be willing to play at like the slowest pace because you need to be able to react to everything and constantly be working on everything at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking to Byron about Victoria 3 because he got me into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand how you play it all the time. And he goes, oh, my laptop like never shuts off. Except for like end of the day. That's when he saves it. And he closes his laptop.
Fuck?
You'll just look at his thing in Discord. I guarantee you he's playing it right now. Like, I love that man. His ability to play.
Actually, now you mention it, when I jumped on earlier, it did say he was on Victoria 3. Yeah, you're right. The game that Chris was just talking about that someone might get from me, Dad, was Sins of a Solar Empire.
Listen, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be
Don't take this from me. I'm gonna Google which Sins game has, because like the Sins modding community is so on it. Sins is one of the few games I actually don't recommend just playing the base game of. I don't know. I don't have a ton of experience with Sins 2, so I don't know. But like Rebellion has probably the best RTS Star Wars mod. It has a really good Halo mod. It has a Warhammer 40k mod. Like it's got, and like sometimes you'll get a mod and it's like just skins.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost never the case with the Sins games. They're fully fleshed out, like rookie levels of commitment in modding a video game. Like done well,
That's fair.
worth donating to them. I enjoy them. So like that might be something we have to do is get like a couple people into a Sins game with a mod pack. Or
Yeah, that's fair.
no, that was not it. That was not a hint. You step off, Michael. That's
Whoa! Whoa!
the full government name. I will buy him Sins of a Solar Empire. Because like I don't. It's one of those games that unless you're playing it multiplayer with other people, I don't necessarily recommend playing
Yeah,
on stream.
Zach is big into the Sins game, but he doesn't even play it unless Fred's playing it with him.
I like the power scaling of an RTS. Like I'm an army builder. I play similar to you, where it's
Yeah.
like let's see how big I can build it and
Yeah,
then go
but-
from there.
Yeah, and then just throw the wall of fuckery at it.
That's okay. That's the best example I can think of. In a grand strategy game, build it as big as I can build it does not work.
Yeah.
In RTS, it does.
Yeah, I know.
Because in RTS, it's about how much you can control at any given time. Whereas in
Yeah.
a grand strategy game, it's how well can you control what you've got.
Well, prime
Like
example.
Stellaris is extremely difficult to do that in.
Prime example. I've been playing a lot of the Dawn of War games lately, and the very first Dawn of War, the original.
Yeah.
They give you the time in the mission that if you want to take an hour and a half to build your army to the biggest fuck ton it can be, and then throw it all out at once.
RTS game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a lot of Gladius lately too, which I've been enjoying because I play the Necrons and they're really easy to learn how to get the grasp of in that game. They literally give you like 4 units to start with, and until you're like 10 turns into the game with that grand strategy, it's like, hey, you're just gonna have to learn how to survive with this.
Well, that's where I struggle with the Total War games, because of the Total War games, you have to manage your territories at the same time as know how big your armies are.
Yeah.
So, like, certain factions in Warhammer 2, you start with really big armies.
Yeah.
Certain factions in the Warhammer Total Wars only obtain more units when they pillage and raise. The Skaven is the greatest example of that. So
it's
like
really
the Skaven
bad
is technically the easiest faction to play because you don't have to care about territory because the Skaven have no territory.
Yeah.
They raise and burn. And by raising and burning, you increase your army size and it heals your units. But if you go from playing the Skaven to like, they're not the Alliance, but like Warhammer's Alliance like,
yeah,
then you have to be really worried about all of your, like, you got to make sure that the forts are properly guarded and like all of the stuff. Because if they're not and you get sieged, they'll just roll you. That's how I like every time I played a normal faction.
Yeah.
That's how I would lose.
That's actually really bad in the third Warhammer as well, specifically with the starting faction Kislev, the Russians, the Ice Queen, because one of their biggest things for gaining resources right off the hop is pillaging, which is really hard to do when you have fuck all for an army or resources. So it's kind of one of those things where if you can get through the beginning of the game and start getting a constant stream of resources, then Kislev actually turns out to be really good, which was what makes them such a good beginner army for you to settle into how the game's momentum plays. But if you can't make it past the first hump of getting enough resources to get through your talent tree to level 2, where you start getting more natural resources and army and all that, then it's just a stalemate, honestly. Like, Kislev is one of those armies where if you are playing with your friends in a total domination map, if you get outpaced by even one of them like by a turn, then that's it. Kislev has no hope in hell of catching up.
Yeah. Going back to the topic, I'm very excited for Warhammer 40K. That Total War entry is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking
forward to Fate of the Old Republic.
True. Found out who David Harbour's voicing in the Warhammer 40k Total War. He is voicing the main Inquisitor.
Nice.
And then his coworker,
Nice.
his coworker Gwendolyn Christie, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
She is voicing the
Yeah,
main
Captain Phasma, Brienne of Tarth.
Yep. She is
Yep.
she's voicing the main protagonist Eldar. So it looks like the Total
Sick.
War Warhammer 40k is going to follow the same lines of how the Dawn of War games went throughout the years of like, hey, you're the Imperium. Well, guess what? You're going to be having interactions with the Eldar.
Yeah. So yeah, Fate of the Old Republic, probably number one for me.
Yeah.
Followed closely by Warhammer 40k and Warlock.
Yep.
Those games looked really cool.
Yep.
It goes without saying, Tomb Raider Catalyst will be fun. And then Ontos, which was the like Bioshock styled game
And
that
see,
they had.
I couldn't make a judge on
The
that.
hotel on the moon.
Yeah, because I haven't played Bioshock yet, so
It's not made by the same guy. It's
no,
just the
but that
style
was
of
the
game seemed very familiar.
and I haven't played any style of game that's similar, so that's the only comparison I would know. But that
I
comparison
can't
is
wait for you
only
to play Infinite.
so the way this is the lineup that I'm going to have voting for after Mass Effect is done in a couple weeks. Finally, I'm going to put up the Alan Wake series because I do own everything up to Control Resonant, which isn't out yet.
Yep.
I have all the Bioshock games, so that'll be another contender. I have all of the Hitman games, so that'll be the third one. And then for the fourth one, I haven't decided if I'm going to do The Witcher, the Batman Arkham series, Sherlock Holmes, or Borderlands, because I own Borderlands 1 to 3.
If you want 3 games that you can knock out relatively quickly that you'll get a good run from, genuinely the Bioshock games.
That's fair.
I will be buying votes for the Bioshock franchise. So vote.
Yeah, fair.
You've got it here in 4K. I think because like the Bioshock games, as I wouldn't do the DLC. I would for Infinite. I would leave that and do that off stream.
I
just because
don't know if I
you know
have
what?
the DLC.
If you do, you have the remastered collection.
Yes.
Then you do.
Okay.
It comes with Infinite.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bioshock Infinite DLC is called Burial at Sea, and it's the protagonist and the main female lead from Infinite go back, and it's part of the whole plot of Infinite is how they justify it, and they go back to Rapture, which is where the first 2 games take place, and they like explore what happened better. I never played it. I watched gameplay of it. It didn't. I think as a story, it was cool. I don't think it was great to watch, though. Like, I watched it because I wanted to see what the story was.
Right.
And it was interesting. You meet a lot of the characters that you interact with in the first 2 games. Because, like, Bioshock is a story of, like, how capitalism goes wrong. So, anyways, that's why Ontos is there. Ace Combat 8, Control Resonant. I'm pretty stoked for those. And that's kind of it. I'm really excited to see what the new Star Wars games could be like.
Yeah, if I'm being brutally honest, the only game that really looked like it was going to be shit is High Guard. Like that seems.
Yeah, well, that's because it's Apex Legends 2.
Yeah, that seems like it's just
it's gonna crash and burn in a week.
Yeah.
Because it's free to play. I think it's out right now, actually.
Well, I know the I know the early
let's
access
SteamDB this.
for Pragmata is out already because I've seen some people on Twitch playing that.
Yeah, the demo for it is out.
That's what it is, the demo.
High Guard. So, oh no, it's High Guard is available on the 26th of January.
So a month from now.
A month from now.
I don't think it's going to do
I
well.
feel that it is going to die.
Honestly, if anything, in the past like 10 years of
it's a hero shooter.
yeah,
They don't do well anymore. It'll be
no,
Concord 2.
the only
Do
one
you
that
remember
is
Concord? Remember hearing about that?
oh, you
How
mean
hyped it
the
was?
one that lasted less than 24 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally less than 24 hours. And then
yeah,
Sony unlisted the game and refused to give anybody their money back.
yep, yeah. I
If they
don't.
had made that a story game, it would have like just a third person over the shoulder
Mhm.
shooter, or even a
Wasn't
first person shooter with a
wasn't
story. They would have done better.
wasn't one of the secret level episodes from the Amazon show?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Concord.
that which was fucking
Or
hilarious. That episode did better than the whole entirety of the game did.
that episode's probably the only reason why people bought it.
That, yeah,
They did
true.
a terrible job of advertising it.
Oh, they did.
Let's just go back into the secret level.
But what I was saying,
you know what
though,
else? There's another game from secret level that died recently. Actually, a couple weeks ago. New World died.
oh,
Amazon has ended support for it.
that's yeah, okay. I do remember
Yeah,
hearing about
Concord
that.
Tales of the Implaceable, episode 13.
Yep. Yeah, no, what I was saying though is like within the past 10 years of like hero shooters, arena shooters, stuff like that, I think the only one of any note that's actually had a good run so far has been Marvel Rivals, isn't it? Because like there's a few of them that are still running, like Apex is still going, but it's
So
not the same as it used to be.
hero
So
shooters right now, you've got, without even looking, just off the top of my head, you've got Apex Legends, Overwatch 2.
which is also not doing so well because people are still upset about that.
You want to know why they're upset about that?
Hmm.
Because I figured it out, actually. I know probably someone who is the most dedicated Overwatch player I've ever met in my life. And they stopped playing it because when Overwatch 2 came out, they closed the original Overwatch servers.
Right, that was the whole issue.
And so all of that, if you spent money on it, it's all gone. There was, like, with Smite and the microtransactions, if you bought Founders, your gem purchases were doubled back to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to do that. Closing the game completely is not a good way to do that. But so yeah, you've got Rivals, Legends, Siege is still around. Team Fortress 2 still does very well.
Which
Fragpunk is running pretty good right now. Fragpunk, I think, will always do well.
Oh, I meant
Valorant,
Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2, yeah. Deadlock is technically a hero shooter.
Yeah.
Mecha Break.
The thing with the Mecha Break can fuck off and die.
Whoa.
The thing with
what are you talking about?
The thing
It's
with Deadlock though is, I enjoy Deadlock. I have played a shit ton of Deadlock. It's not widely popular though. It's one of those games.
That's because it's not out.
True, but I mean,
so if you didn't,
okay, hold on though. How long was Warframe not out for though? Technically, and it was still widely popular.
So, yeah, but Deadlock hasn't even actually released in early access. If you don't have a friend with it that's invited you to the playtest, you can't. It's still in early development.
So
Valve has admitted that.
Yes, but
they have the servers up so that they can get people to play it, so they can refine it. Right.
When they first did the servers, it was open beta.
Extremely popular.
Yeah, and it was open. But as the popularity died down and they started revamping stuff to try and bring stuff back to it, like bring view back to it.
Hold on. We got to take a step back here. It has never been in an open beta. They were giving
open access.
They were giving out more access to it.
Yeah.
You still had to apply to the playtest it was just a faster turnaround. At this point, most people that are going to play it have played it, and they're really just waiting for it to be done because they keep changing things so much to try and figure out what works and what doesn't. Because Valve has never made a MOBA style arena like hero shooter. That's not their forte. They made Team Fortress 2, but that's not the same thing.
No.
So like Deadlock is not in early access. It is playtest exclusive. If you have a code, you can keep playing it. If you don't, you can't get one. That's why its player base is dying, because the people that do have access to it aren't inviting more people to it, or they have sent the invites and people don't know how to claim access, or they just don't want to play it.
Is a bit
like
interesting.
Look at Brad's a prime example. I tried to get him into it. I was like, you should come play Deadlock. I think you'd enjoy it a lot, because I know he would. I know he would, and he just wouldn't. He was like, I don't want to play another lane-based MOBA, and I was like, okay, but this one's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Rookie doesn't have access to it. See, this is what I mean. Nobody's invited our boy.
To be fair,
how is he going to experience bots on the hardest difficulty with Will and I if he doesn't have access?
Didn't know that Rookie was into MOBAs.
So I think that's kind of where Deadlock suffers.
The only person that has more time in that game than me is Zach. Yeah, that
says everything you need to know about Zach. A hero shooter is where you pick a set character and you compete with that character for the duration of the map, the match, or until you die. When you're allowed to change them. Not always the case.
Right. Yeah, because you can do that with Rivals. When you die, you can switch characters.
Yeah, you can change your hero. Rivals does it, I think, in the coolest way, which is that you can have synergies.
Yeah,
that's something
like
that most don't do, and it
ups?
makes sense for a game in the Marvel's universe where you can have like the hero team up.
Yeah.
If you have the right heroes. Deep Rock is technically an extraction shooter. It is a lot of fun though.
I do own Deep Rock. I've never played it. It was bought for me last Christmas, and I haven't installed it because by the time
I don't own it.
Fair. By the time I got around to it, though, I think it was Biggles that actually got it for me. And Biggles, being the squirrel he is, bought it for me. And then a week later was like, oh, yeah, I'm playing this now. So every other game is dead to me.
That boy plays like 18 games a day. And none of them keep him interested. Like,
no. I
think he was the reason why you guys went back to Barotrauma.
That was because we were able to convince him to go back long enough to show Kari Barotrauma, and she got obsessed with it. And so we ended up playing a lot of it, and Biggles just kind of forced himself to join us because he didn't want to be left out. But he
down bad.
Yeah, he for the most part just would kind of fuck around and walk around with a clown horn and shit.
I do not enjoy playing games with Biggles. I like Biggles. He can be entertaining to talk to when
I like
you're
playing
not
Darkside
listening to in the background.
Oh,
but like, yeah,
so fucking loud.
When you're not listening to his carbon monoxide detector beep, he is enjoyable to play games with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, exactly, Rookie. It's like, change the fucking battery, dude. I don't want to, like, we were playing Rivals because they had the zombies mode. And it was like, I had him I had muted him after like 3 rounds. I was like, I can't. And then like, he's not talking to you. He's just talking into the aether.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of talking for the sake of talking.
Responding. Yeah.
He's looking into the abyss and he's blinking.
Yeah.
I see.
Those are kind of my Game Awards games.
What's hilarious
to go back
about
to
that? I actually do have a funny, like, 30-second story to tell about that with the batteries and the smoke detector with Biggles. I can't remember 100% if it was Tony or Digital. One of them shipped him batteries to where he was, so they paid to send
Digital.
He paid to send him batteries all the way across North America and he still didn't do it.
Because I remember Digital being in the server with us while we were playing Rivals, and
Yeah.
I heard his thing chime, and I'm pretty sure Digital's response, like without hesitation, was, "I sent you those batteries. If you don't change them, I will kick you from my server."
Yeah.
And we were all just like, "Oh damn."
Yeah. I I know why they actually did finally get changed. Um but I know why he wasn't for the longest time. It was a bit of his way of rebelling against his parents, because the guy's like 23 and his parents still treat him like he's 12. So he kind of rebels here and there. And we don't blame him for it,
Yeah,
but the smoke alarm was a bit excessive. It got to the
it's
point where he
ridiculous.
made himself into such a meme with it that Digital just randomly throughout the week would send me a message on Discord with no context, and it would just be some smoke detector meme that he had made because he was bored at work.
Yeah,
Like once we're done the podcast here, I'll go find some of them because they're fucking hilarious. And I'll send them to you.
it's
It's a hard
yeah,
knock
it's
life.
for him.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
for the rest of us. There are some other
Well,
games that
for
were
our
cool.
ears it is, but yes, other
I
games.
I am really interested to play Exodus. I I'm hyping it up because I don't want you to be right.
I fuck you.
Is really what it is, honestly. I want
So
it to be, I do want it to be a good version of Andromeda, because at this point I've completely given up on playing Andromeda, to the point where I think I might have uninstalled it after whaling its multiplayer. So, or no, it's still installed. I haven't
well,
gone
yeah,
that
because
far yet.
we actually did have some fun playing the multiplayer,
The multiplayer was good. Yeah, it was enjoyable.
which
Yeah, it's still installed
I
because
actually
because of the
switched.
multiplayer.
I actually switched to my proper Vanguard class after the last time you and me played, and me, Fred, and Zach did a shit ton of missions on the harder difficulties, so I leveled up super quick.
Yeah, I I enjoy the multiplayer in Andromeda because it reminds me a lot of the multiplayer in 3. And I remember like
Never
me
got
and
to
my
do
buddy
that.
basically whaling that multiplayer system
Yeah.
because we wanted to do, like, because there was two of us and that was it, and we were running the hardest difficulty
Yep.
consistently.
Mm-hmm.
The multiplayer is also cool because it lets you try weapons that you don't know if you would enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
that's true. It lets you test out a few different things.
the remnant weapons that I hadn't really touched until that, and then I was like, wait, these things have infinite ammo because they're energy. Well, that's rad. Like,
Um,
who cares if it's low damage? If I can just keep shooting them, I'm down to clown. Like the sniper
they're
that
not
I got.
in like the cat weapons are not infinite, but I actually have found I
No,
really
not the ket
no,
weapons,
I
the
know.
remnant
Yeah,
weapons.
you
Yeah.
like the remnant. I have found that I like the cat assault rifle. I'm drawing a hard blank on the name, but the one that shoots the triple round burst of the yellow beat laser.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
That one actually does really good for long distance when you're shooting at like an anointed or a destined.
My, because like I have an infiltrator
Mm-hmm.
in Andromeda, so it's sniper rifles and a pistol, and of course submachine guns are somehow pistols. So like, okay, fair play on that one. So I've got, at this point, I have a remnant submachine gun that I built
Mm-hmm.
and a Ket sniper rifle that I built,
Mm-hmm.
because the Ket sniper rifle that I built will do like 800 damage in a shot, and it inflicts like 3 different statuses. It reminds me a lot of Warframe
That's
in
fair.
like
I
in that aspect of it.
I honestly haven't bothered in making too many of the custom weaponry in research and development because I went full Vanguard. So everything I do
Yeah.
is melee based. And at this point, if I run into an AROC, one of those big like gorilla hammerhead looking things.
Yep.
I charge into it, I Nova punch it, and then I do the shockwave blast, and then I melee hit it, and it's dead. So I do, just as a subsequent, in case I run into something that for whatever reason the damage percentage just doesn't spike high enough to kill it. I do have a piranha shotgun with me as well that I have upgraded for a 10 clip size, or a 10 round like clip size. So I literally just sit there and bang, 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 bang as this revolving barrel with shotgun shells in it goes around.
Yeah. I am going to heel turn us from Andromeda because I brought it up. I was actually, this is how I was going to conclude my Game Awards, but the last two games I'm really looking forward to from the Game Awards are these like two little indie titles from this studio that you might have heard of, but probably not. Digital Extremes, little indie
The
devs
name
based out of
sounds
Canada.
familiar.
They make they put out two trailers. The first one was for Soulframe, and then the second one was the trailer
Which
with
they
Werner
showed us
Herzog.
virtually nothing on. Yeah, but wasn't that
Yeah,
just
the trailer was nothing for Soulframe.
yeah,
It was just a trailer for the Founders Edition, and
yeah,
then the Werner Herzog trailer for Warframe.
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to those, and I think there's great things coming for that game, and I know that because I've been grinding the shit out of it
Oh, I'm aware.
since Friday. No, Saturday. I
Dude,
spent all day playing
I've been
Warframe.
wanting to ask you to have another round on Battle Sector with me, but I can't because every time I turn around, you're on
Brother.
Warframe. It's like, well, fuck.
So here's the problem. I don't want to ramble about this for like an hour, but it's probably going to happen. So bear with me, chat.
Okay.
Here's the thing you need to know about Warframe. The devs don't know what it is anymore. That's fine.
Yeah, they do not know what it is.
Because it's the greatest game you'll ever play. I've recently found out how to turn mouse sensitivity down. So now it plays like a regular game, which is unreal. I don't know why I had them set so high.
Very good.
But when you start Warframe, you pick one of three starter frames. It's Volt, Mag, or Excalibur.
Right.
I'm going to tell you straight up, for endgame content, I don't know that I would go Excalibur.
Okay.
I'd pick Mag or Volt. They're great. The reason being is because prime frames exist, which are better versions of base frames. The three starters don't have good primes because they're so old. Nope. I just need to stop choking on my own spit. So you pick your frame, and then the game sets you on a quest. And that the quest used to be very different, so I'll give you what it used to be. The quest used to be you have to find this Grenier guy who's one of the enemy factions in the game, and you have to take him out so you can solve. He put a piece of technology on your warframe that was basically going to kill you if you left it for too long.
Oh.
And so you play through the starting planet, and the Lotus guides you as she's basically space mom, and she's like, okay, now go in that direction, commit war crimes, and you go commit war crimes over there, and you come back, and she's like, wow, you did war crimes so good. Now go do war crimes over there. Then you go do war crimes over there, and you complete the last mission, which is taking out the guy that it's called an Ascaris, and it's a piece of technology that gets expanded on later, and it eliminates the Ascaris off your frame, and now the game is open to you, and you can do whatever you want. And that was the start of the game as it kind of was in 14 is when that quest line was like cemented as it was. There's a new start to it now, which I won't talk about because I only just finished it. It's actually a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. But in like classic MMO fashion, they have continued to expand the game. And this is where like what Warframe is kind of got lost in the sauce, because the core gameplay loop has remained the same. But every expansion I learned recently has added different basically game modes that are not the core gameplay loop. So at this point, we've got there is a stealth mission where you play as a guy from an expansion who's my favorite, who's down bad for one of the creatures you meet on Deimos. There's fishing, there's conservation, there's mining, there is bounty quests, there's like you want to go beat up a big dog, there's an Archon hunt. And so all of this stuff has been added. There's a tower climbing challenge mode. If you remember, like Mortal Kombat, I think has like the most memorable one where like you climb the tower. This one's called the Descendia, and it's part of the Old Peace expansion. So it's 21 floors, and every week the rewards for completing certain floors reset. So you go down 21 floors in order to fight the big bad at the bottom. And it's a lot of fun. They also added a thing called the Parita Rebellion, which is the alternate game mode to that, which is where you get all of the resources you need to build the new content, because everything must be constructed on your orbiter.
Right.
Like that's how you unlock stuff. You grind for blueprints, for warframes and weapons, and then once you've got them and you have the resources for it, you build them. There's a time limit associated with it, which runs real world clock.
Okay.
So from when you start, I think weapon components and frame components, it's 12 hours. And then weapons, and I think weapons are less. I think they're 24 or 36 hours. And then frames are 72. So like there's like a little grinding. You can rush them. There's a premium currency. It's an MMO. But the Parita Rebellion is a cool game mode because it's like, here's a moment in history that we showed you in the expansion. Now you have 12 minutes to do as many things as you can as fast as possible. And then you're going to fight a boss at the end, which is going to drop you a currency or like a material that you need for another thing, which is cool. And those two game modes sucked me back in. And it had to have been Saturday that I was playing because it was Sunday at 3:00 in the morning when I went to bed, and I had D&D at noon. The new frame is my boy. Uriel is a frame that's modeled after, he's called the Demon of Zata, which is a fictional place in the universe. And he's a proto frame technically, so there's a real guy associated with him, and it's that guy's actions that created the frame. And he has like his own signature weapon, which is based loosely on an M1 Garand. And I know that because when you run the clip out, it pings, and it's like a 1-to-1 ping. So good. And so I was playing it, and I was thinking about it, and like this game really does have everything. Like if you want to play an MMO, it is the MMO. And once you've played it, the final consensus that I hit was that it ruins you for everything else you play. Because you'll be playing something and be like, man, this is cool. I wish it played more like Warframe. Because it is just that good.
I like this game, but I wish it was Warframe.
But I wish it was Warframe. And like in our house, we have a joke where it's like, oh, that's just like Risk of Rain 2. You can apply that to Warframe on almost everything. Yeah. Oh man, this dating sim is fun, but it's not as good as the one in Warframe. Because they have that now too.
Oh
they
my
added that
God.
with the Warframe 1999 expansion. There's tons of timed events, and like not like timed events, but like time limited stuff that works on a resetting clock that you can go and do. That like at no point in that game is there ever not something that you could do. There's factions that you meet as you play through the main story that you can do basic tasks like the mining. The conservation's the biggest one because it's the easiest to grind. There's standing. Standing lets you you can increase your rank with them, which will increase how much standing you need to get to the next rank, but it'll also let you purchase exclusive things from them. So like you can build kit guns or Zaws, which are these like melee weapon like things. Amps for your operator, because you unlock the ability to play as your operator later. It's just all really good. And I'm starting to lose where I was going with this. And you don't know where I was going with this.
Nope, because I've never played Warframe.
No, but you should.
If you remember,
I want to play Warframe with you.
If you remember, I was actually
here's why I've been
supposed
playing
to.
Warframe so much. Here's why I've been playing Warframe so much, and I don't remember why you were supposed to, but we can get to that. Here's why I've been playing so much. This is relevant because I have like 3.5 days left to wrap this up and then start the next grind. The game gives you a star chart.
Mm-hmm.
It's a galaxy map.
Yeah.
And it takes place in the Soul universe with variants on it. The Void has influenced the world. There was once a ruling class called the Orokin who built the Warframes and all of these weapons. And like, there's been afflictions and variations of it. But you complete the star chart. And once you've completed the star chart, a thing called the Seal Path opens to you. And I just learned that this is how that works this week. And the reason why I learned it is because there's an augment for my main primary weapon that's in the Steel Path rotation for this week. And apparently I have to grind to that too. So like I've just been trying to knock it out as fast as I can. Like when I joined the Discord call, I had been playing for half an hour. I had finished 7 nodes on the star chart. So let's go back to my original example of how the core gameplay loop works for a new player. So you finish Earth, and then from Earth you can go to the next planet for free, which I think is Venus or Mercury. I think it's Venus. And then as you complete the map of Venus, you'll notice that there's a relay because there's solar rails, and that's how you transport from planet to planet.
Mm-hmm.
So to open this relay, you have to have done certain things. And then so you can go back and you do those things. And then you come to the relay and you have to fight a warframe that's guarding it. And then you can go to the next planet. That's how the core gameplay loop works. And in each planet, there's a multitude of nodes that like chart out and around. Most of the time they go back to relays, but some of them just dead end branch. When I played it originally, I did not spend the time to complete each planet as I gained access to it, because eventually I hit a point where I didn't have to do that anymore, because I was already done all of the requirements for the next relay. So I would just mainline it to a relay, fight the relay boss, main it on to the next one. We were talking about hero shooters, and my description to Rookie was you find a hero that you like, you play that one, and if you die sometimes you can change it. Warframe is perfect in the way that there's a Warframe that will suit how everyone wants to play, because they've just kept adding frames. Rebecca Ford, the creative director, made a TikTok when Uriel came out, and it's a running gag that she's trying to do the alphabet in Warframes. So for you, we got Uriel. But at this point, I think there's 100 Warframes. How many Warframes are there in 2025? 60 base frames with 62 distinct base frames. That number hits 110 when you include primes. Grinding frames is difficult. They can be bought for the premium currency if you're like, if you're like, man, I really want to play. One of my favorite frames is Nidus, he's a health tank, meaning he has no shields. So when you do his mod loadout, you do it for armor and health, and then status affliction. So like, you need to stop him from getting statuses, or you need to mitigate the damage from statuses. So like, okay, to grind Nidus, I have to be on this planet, I have to run this mission, and this is my percentile chance to drop. You do the math, that means, okay, I've got to do this mission like 80 times if I'm lucky. There's ways to modify that. The game has boosters. But if you don't want to do that because you don't want to spend money, you can just work it out. Like my roommates have, I think, 1,000 hours each at this point. Plus, they don't do that. They just grind it. I'm a whale, which means I just spend money. And the game doesn't hinder you for doing that, which is fantastic. So if you're like, for example, there's a quest line where you have to unlock a weapons platform that allows you to do certain missions, you can buy it. There's a quest line that gives you a thing called the Railjack, which is a big ship that you can run with multiple frames on board.
Mm-hmm.
You can grind the components for it, or you can just buy it. The Heart of Deimos expansion added a walker, like a mech called a necromech, which was Old War technology. The grind for that, when I like looked at how difficult it would be, I was like, there's no way I'm doing this. Like, I'm just not going to be able to, because I need other people and they have to be willing to just keep running it till I get the parts. And then I did it a couple times. I just kept getting the same blueprints and I was like, nope, buy it. So like the game won't hinder you.
No.
And it doesn't necessarily encourage it either.
Yeah, just hey,
Plus,
we're here if you want this option, but
yeah. Plus, every 24 hours, the game gives you a daily tribute, which is semi-streak related. So the more days you play in concession, the generally speaking, the better your daily tribute will be.
Yeah.
If you wait, eventually you can get just coupons for the platinum, which is the premium currency. And it's the most common one's 50% off, but 90% off exists. 75% is relatively uncommon, but they do exist. So like the game will ease the cost lots of the times, and like to buy the 3 main quest line items is I think 1,300 plat at the moment with which we're talking about this, and Warframe platinum costs. If I wanted to just buy enough to do that, oh, they've changed the price. No, that's got to be wrong, right? There's no way that's right. Maybe they up the prices. I don't know. It's possible. 1,000 plat plus 1 rare mod is $52. So if you have a 50% off coupon, you're $26, and you can buy like the Arcwing and the Railjack. And then occasionally the game will just give you platinum.
That's fair.
It'll be like, hey, here's your daily tribute. Here's 25 platinum. Not enough to do anything with.
No, but you let it build up.
Yeah. Like this weekend when I got my new mod, I spent 1,000 plat in a day because I had a lot of it. Usually when I get like the 90% off, I buy the biggest one, which is 4,300 plat. So it's 210, but I'm only paying 10% of that. So it's like $22.
Yeah.
And you get enough platinum that you really should never have to buy it again. Grinding for the prime frames is slightly easier, but it's a little bit more complex. So prime components come in relics, which are mission drops. Certain relics house certain blueprints, and then you have to crack them. You can enhance them and increase your percentile chance of getting certain components out of it. But it's like you have a bronze tier, a silver tier, and a gold tier. And then 3 tiers to the relic. So like at the highest tier, you have a slightly better chance of getting gold, but it's not like 100%. So there's a little gambling involved. And then every once in a while, primes will get vaulted. So like those relics will be taken out of the loot rotation. And that prime, your ability to grind for it goes away completely. And then every once in a while, the primes they'll do a resurgence event, which they're doing right now for Gyre and Whisk Prime. And Whisk I do want, and I'm considering buying it, and you have to buy what's called Regal Aya. Or you can, like, when a Prime goes back into resurgence, their mods, their relics come back into rotation. So you can actually grind out the relics for it and then go back through and grind for the right thing.
Yeah.
But you need a lot of it to do that. So like that's where the Warframe is a grind is accurate, but lots of the time the grind is extremely enjoyable.
That's
the
fair.
only thing that at this point does kind of suck is the mastery rank. Because the first 5 MR are pretty fast. You can only do 1 mastery rank per day, but it's like you have to hit level 30 with a frame and a weapon. And like so base frame loadout your Warframe, primary, secondary, melee weapon. So once those hit 30, that gets you a certain amount of like mastery points.
Mm-hmm.
And you can reset that level by using a thing called a forma. It changes polarities in certain mod slots. So like if you have the right polarity, it's half the cost. But that doesn't re-leveling it does not contribute after a certain point. So it's like I have frames with 4 forma in them, and they don't help me. If I build a new frame or a new weapon, then it will. Or I buy a new frame or a new weapon, which I've done a couple times, just to try. Like, there's a frame called Loki. He had a prime resurgence, and I was like, I kind of want to see if he fucks. So I bought his base frame for like 80 platinum, I think, at the time. And then I played him for a bit, and I was like, this guy's great. I bought Regal Aya, and I bought his prime with like the full bundle. So I got the prime, his melee, his secondary, and his primary weapon. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is dope. It's cool in the way that it lets you do whatever you want kind of all of the time. And at no point is it ever going to tell you, yeah, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's free reign.
Your friends will tell you, hey, we should do this thing. And then you'll go to do that thing and realize you can't because you haven't unlocked it yet. Or you've just, like, you'll be looking for something to complete the build for your frame. And it'll be like, I'm missing this. Like, if I had this mod, that would make it way easier. And it's like, well, the only way to get that is through this vendor. But you need the 5th tier of that faction plus the standing required to buy it. And you're just like, no, fuck. What do you mean?
This is shoot me now.
But the last thing about Warframe that I want to talk about, the bit that I find the coolest and how I got Uriel in one night is, I think with Veil Breakers, they added a pity system for frames, maybe before Veil Breakers. And so the pity system is, the new expansion will give you a new game mode, and usually it'll come with a couple of frames, 1 on release, and then usually 1 before, 1 after. So grinding with a drop chance is just straight gambling, and that's brutally difficult. You can just buy it, which is expensive. So how do you get around that? How do you make it fair so everybody has a chance to like try and get this frame? Add a currency system that pertains to the expansion so that you can buy the blueprints. You cannot buy the frame with it. And most of the time the way it works is if you like the old piece, for example, you complete the expansion and it gives you the blueprint for Uriel. And then when you do the Descendia, that's where the pity currency is. And you need 75 total to buy the 3 blueprints you're missing. Plus, for running the Descendia, you have a high chance of gaining the blueprint, like a blueprint that you're looking for. So you need, like my first run of the Descendia, I got 47 of the pity currency and 1 of the blueprints. So I was like 3 shy. I was like, fuck, I got to do it again.
Yep.
And
sounds about right for a
got
grind.
the last blueprints, and then realized, oh, I need all of the resources that are only in the Predator Rebellion, so I have to go and run that for a while. But it was a lot of fun, and then it was like 3 o'clock in the morning suddenly, and I was like, I hit the rush button on the Uriel craft, and I was like, let's go.
The good thing it was a Saturday.
Yeah, true that. To rush Uriel cost me, like, the plat cost was, I think, like $6, but it was worth it. Like, it was...
Yeah, you seem to be enjoying it. When I was watching your Discord stream earlier while you were playing it.
Yeah, it's lots of fun, and for a game that is like by the developer's own admission in beta,
Yeah.
it is the most polished game that you will ever play. Plus, every once in a while you'll do an update. The game will be like, hey, we can clear up some disk space for you if you want.
We still got some new things.
Well, no, like you'll do an update and it'll be like, yeah, it was a 6 gig update for the new expansion. And then a couple days will go by and a hot fix will come out, and then the launcher will prompt you. It'll be like, yeah, hey, so you want us to clean some of that up? And usually you get, it depends on the hot fix, but usually you get about 50% of the space back as it recompresses certain files. And they're always trying to find a way to keep the file size small so that you don't ever have to you don't feel that like, oh, well, I have to get rid of the game so I can keep Warframe. But yeah, I highly recommend Warframe. It's
I want to say I
game
actually.
of the year.
Hold on, I want to say I
So
actually.
you were going to play it. Why didn't you?
I'm just checking. I could have swore I had it in my playlist or library. No, I had it
It's
in.
free to play.
Yes, but I had it in my Game Pass, I believe. That's right. So the reason why I was supposed to play it is, you remember when I was supposed to record a game with that Fire G way back when you ended up playing Asphalt Legends with us or with me?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I couldn't get a hold of him the whole time, and he was just gone. That was actually found out what it was. He didn't flake. He found himself in a very unfortunate situation. But yeah, that was. I don't want to put it out there because I don't know how he feels about it, because he did actually reach out to me last month and told me what happened, and he had just finally gotten access to internet again. So I'll leave it at that, but it was not of his own choosing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he feels really bad about it still. But yeah, that was one of the games he owned, and we were supposed to do that. And then I didn't know you were into it at the time. I didn't know what it was, past the name of it. And so I was just like, yeah, let's just do a racing game instead.
Want to live out your wildest fantasy of being a ninja in
hey,
space?
Terry.
That's like murderously powerful, like world-endingly powerful. Play Warframe. Because that was the original intent of the game. You're a ninja in space.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see that.
And some I wish I could experience some of it again for the first time.
You just need you just need the little forget me flash stick from Men in Black.
Some of the expansions, it's like there's cinematics at the level of like a Blizzard game.
Oh yeah, okay.
And like the old piece had like it was absolutely their best so far, and seems to be like every expansion is similar, but like there's expansions that will like actively kind of make you sad. There's a whole storyline where you learn the origin of a Warframe and like why she is that way and how it pertains to like the overarching story. It's it's a good. I am also curious as to why coins have ridges.
I didn't want to cut you off, so I figured I'd type into the chat. But yeah, why? Why do they?
It keeps grabbing the corner of my eye. But yeah, I think you can't play the entirety of it with other people. Lots of the story expansions you have to run solo. But if you are meticulous enough about it, by the time you finish Earth, you can pretty much like nuke the map and continue. Like Volt or Mag will give you enough just kind of go juice completely to make it through to the end of like probably the end of the star chart, realistically.
Okay.
It's such a good game. Just gonna keep circling back on that because I'm tired of shit. It's such a good game. Such a good game. That's fascinating. World War II.
Okay. So it
They were
was
clipping coins and remelting the gold, so they weren't an ounce anymore. Well, they got rich trading it, so they had to invent ridges to see when they were clipping them down in size. That's cool. I didn't know that. You learn something new every day.
It's interesting.
But yeah,
That's what you call an original safety measure.
so it sounds like we're playing Warframe this weekend. Is what I'm hearing. It's
Very
free to play on Steam.
Very well could
Free,
be.
free to make an account. Hopefully by the time you hit that, I will have finished grinding the star chart and got my Incarnon. I got a guy who would be absolutely ecstatic to Sherpa another new player. Matt also is very early in the game. I was talking to him because I was like, hey, Matt, come play Warframe with me so I can have help grinding the Descendia out. And he was just like, oh, yeah, what's that behind? I was like, you got to finish the old piece. And he was like, oh, I'm not even close to that.
Is where? Says apparently it's already in my library. Where did I put it?
No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the Warframe expansion release.
I genuinely have no idea where the
website?
fuck I put it.
That's right, Darvo. I love Darvo. Tennogen. Yeah, that's right. 2015 is when the like the core story came out, and then they came out with the quest called the Second Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that. But where is the actual? I want the actual expansion list though. Hey.
Why the fuck did I put Warframe in shooters? Okay, well I'm changing that.
That's hilarious.
Add to MMO. Remove from shooters. There, Jesus. I don't know why the hell I put that there.
Dark Sector.
Question, do you have Scare Ritual?
Do I have what?
Just out of curiosity, Scare Ritual. S-K-E-R.
Scare Ritual.
Yeah.
S-K-E-R. No, it's on my wish list. I have not bought it.
Okay. I got it when it was still free to play.
I was going to download the demo and play that. I never got around to it.
Yeah, okay, so you know the whole gist of it then. It's original maps and stuff, but based around the game mechanics of the original COD Zombies. Yeah. Which is what
that's why
I honestly I've had nobody to play it with, so I've been going upstairs every once in a while and just playing more Black Ops 4 Zombies just because I'm bored. But I make it to like round I make it to like round 42, and I'm like, you know what? Now I'm bored of this because I'm doing it by myself.
That's valid. Yeah, there's been so much stuff that's come up for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find like a mainline expansion. So yeah, the Second Dream, which was its first cinematic story quest, The War Within, Plains of Eidolon, The Sacrifice, Fortuna, Empyrean, The Old Blood. And then in 2020, they did Warframe Revised, which was a big quality of life. Later that year, Hearts of Deimos, which is probably one of my favorites. Corpus Proxima, Sisters of Parvos, The New War, which is like the first expansion that actively changes the game. Like you have to, I think it's The New War Veilbreaker, where you actually have to like type in a message and acknowledge that this will change the game. Like you can't go back once you've gone forward. Angels of the Zariman, which adds a new like system, like planet.
Mm-hmm.
Veilbreaker, which was uh, another big story expansion, the Duviri Paradox, which is like its roguelite game mode,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
rad. Whispers in the Walls, Jade Shadows, which is where you learn about the start of an expansion. Lotus Eater, Kume and the Five Fates, and 99, which is the Warframe 99 expansion. Tekra Encore, and then most recently the Old War, which is there was another one before Tekra Encore or the Old War that was really good. This has not been updated in a while. Fucking hurry it up, Wikipedia. The Valis Undermined, that's what it was called. It's yeah, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
And every second of it is great, and I highly recommend it. Please play it so we can play together.
All right, I'll take a look at it this weekend.
I'll only hard carry you.
Oh,
always.
Okay.
Except for healing. I
Yeah.
can't. I don't run healers.
You're the only one I enjoy hard carry.
Yep.
Gotta start making it awkward so we can make our intro or our outro. Too tired
Our
for
outro.
this. Too tired for this shit.
We got to hear in 4K on film. Warframe coming to twitch.tv/Sergeant Cobra 98.
Yep.
We got it. We got him. Let's go.
Hold on. Real skateboard? What are you talking about?
I think he's talking about your guitar case.
Yep, that would be a guitar case. I do have a real skateboard, but I do not do that.
I have a longboard that doesn't have trucks on it.
Fair. I play lots of stringed instruments. Yeah, I play bass, electric, Hawaiian steel, ukulele, acoustic. But yes,
I was gonna make a South Park joke, and but I can't because it's not relevant. Shit. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. We hope you didn't lose your mind in our long rambling. We didn't even talk about Formula One. I guess we'll have to do that next time.
Yeah, we can talk about Formula One next Wednesday, as well as if Terry's there, we can talk about my musical career.
We'll absolutely see you guys on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, fuck. Oh shit. Oh, we might not be, because I am supposed to be spending the night at the in-laws. We'll see how that goes.
Maybe we'll come back on the 23rd. Come back next Tuesday instead.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Scheduling conflicts aside.
We'll figure it out.
Thanks for listening. We hope you laughed a little. Love you, bye.
Laughed a little, loved a lot. Love you, bye.